小羊羊2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，衣服地机械地，
biu biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解。
定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论，关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐，不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Codes Round 5, day number 3. I'm, of course, host Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by the lovely people in the chat, these amazing players as well. We missed out. We missed out yesterday. If you remember, we did miss out with day 2 of WTL. But now we're back with day number 3. We just wrapped up with Sparkling Tuna Cup. We just had a pretty intense half of StarCraft already, half of the day, with 4 hours non-stop of Sparkling Tuna Cup action. But now we are back with WTL, with World Team League, and we are looking to dive into our first series of the night. Up first is going to be Onside versus... sorry, my apologies, not Onside. I got a little confused. I did get a little bit confused here. It's going to be Team Vitality versus Offside Esports. A bit of a team kill here between these two teams. So those that are curious, Onside Esports is in partnership with Team Vitality. Now officially they are known as Team Vitality. That is Maru, Ryung, and Solar. And Offside Esports is like an academy team. It's like a sister team here. Of course, shout out to the people behind Onside to have the passion to support kind of a branch off team as well in Offside Esports, with Rex, with Ubu Thermal, and with Rex, Ubu Thermal, and with Firefly as well. So here we go, a bit of a team kill here between these two big teams. And we have our first match, we have our first series. We're going to be diving into Maru versus Rex. Oh boy, Maru, of course, arguably the best Terran in the world. I say arguably because, of course, Oliveira did pop off during DreamHack, but I think we can also say that Maru is the best Terran player in the world, is a titan, is a beast, is a mountain to overcome. But Rex has been surprising us. Rex has been putting in a lot of work. He has been putting in a lot of preparation when it comes to these matches, and has been hyper aggressive, hyper prepared, usually with some kind of all-in. We've seen a lot of all-ins out of Rex in this preparation format. I'm sure we have something spicy specifically for Dynasty. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. As we are going to be jumping in. We're going to be jumping into our first game here. Again, Dynasty is predetermined. It is picked ahead of time. And oh, let's go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Maru for Team... Oh, hands off the keyboard. A little bit tired. But Maru for Team Vitality. In the top right-hand corner, we have Rex for Offside Esports. Oh, you can see the plushies in the background. Oh, they're beautiful. Do love to see it. But we are diving in, and this is what I spoke about. This is what I mentioned, that Rex coming into this is usually coming in with some very specialized builds, and we do go for the gold. Not just the gold on the left-hand side of that gold mineral line. It is much more exposed, it is much more aggressive. This should be for an all-in. This should be for a straight up all in here. Now, we should be rushing and prioritizing that risk-resting gas geyser as well, and I imagine this is going to be leading into a roach rush. We'll see if Rex can actually make use of this space and get away with it. We'll see if Maru can successfully punish Rex. It's going to be the big question here for us. Will Rex be punished? Will Rex get away with our shenanigans? Spawning pool is thrown down, but now just going to be droning up. Maru yet to really be too active here, going for his own CC at his own pocket base. The Maynard has arrived, going to be Maynarding our drones over towards that gold base. And Maru is going Reaper first. We'll soon get eyes on this and we'll soon be able to apply some pressure. Sleepy Maru, yes, very sleepy. Sleepy, papi, sleepy. Ah, smooch. But there we go, we do prioritize saturation, the gold base is up and running, the rich testing gas geyser is on the way as well, and the first Reaper is moving out. I'm sure Maru, yeah, he's just rallied right to that gold, is looking to check, looking to punish. The Queen is still in production. Actually, never mind, the Reaper actually heads into the pocket, onto the other side. Oh, the creep hasn't spotted, there we go, and he will be able to punish the space from the other side of the wall. Oof. Yeah, drones are under fire. Queen is going to be coming in. So far, we don't get a drone kill yet. We do pull away. Spawn production. Roach Warren has been thrown out. We spoke about it, that usually if the Zerg player rushes into the space, it's for the Roach Warren, it's for a Roach Rush. For a Roach-based all-in. And KDH just knocking those drones around. So far, no drone killed yet. No damage yet. We do delay some mining. We do threaten the mineral line. Oh, don't quite get a worker. There we go. One drone finally goes down. Not a bad pickoff. Now, the Reaper has yet to scout the main, but I don't think we need to. To be honest, like, again, it's quite obvious what this build and what this opener leads into, so I'm sure that Maru already has roaches in the back of his mind. I'm sure he's already getting ready. But he's going 3cc. Uh-oh. Maru's going 3cc into a 1-1-1. Delayed starport, delayed Banshee production. And here we go. The roaches are moving out across the map. Can we catch Maru off guard? Remember, Maru was quite greedy here, going into that third base, which means he is vulnerable. But the army is spotted. Maru, he's now aware of the Roach Ravager. Does spot it ahead of time, and he ignores it. He's going for the mineral line. Cyclones are amassing back at home. Bunker is on the way. And the Reaper Hellion goes straight for the mineral line. Oh, drones are under fire. We do wall off, though. Rex does fully wall off, but oh, there's only so much he can do here as he is cornered. The bunker is going to be delayed. We're breaking through the front door. Rex, can we pull this off? Bunker's going to be shut down. Yeah, there is no bunker. There are two Marines in the back line. We do dodge those biles. Boys being pulled. Cyclones will pop out. Yeah, they focus down on those Ravagers. Ravager's going to be targeted. We're running out of steam, running out of roaches. Maru will clean this up. And cancels that bunker. Shuts down every single roach, every single Ravager. We get 10 SCV kills. That's an okay amount of damage, but we needed more. Remember, Maru opened 3cc, so killing 10 workers doesn't mean much. We have the gold base, we have a third base. We can produce 3 SCVs at a time. We have mules as well. Overlord gets caught out. That does supply block Rex. Now is not the time. It's never the time for supply block, to be fair, but Rex in a rough position. Behind this, working towards a lair, taking extra gases. Now, we could try to make use of this rich resting gas geyser in another way. We could, I don't know, maybe throw down a fast spire. That'd be a wild move, but possible. For now, we are just saturating. Saturating our 3-base setup. Okay, Roach Speed. We have confirmation. It's going to be Roach Speed. We're committing to Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager, or at least Ling, Roach Ravager for the time being. No Baneliness yet. And we'll see if Rex can keep up. As Maru does dip in between the bases. Doesn't quite get the tumor. Not yet. Tumor is thrown down. Maru rotating over towards the right-hand side. Trying to spread Rex thin. No, the Maynard! No, the droid, they line up! 5 workers go down. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. 6 drones go down and we're not done. We head into the natural mineral line as well. The Evo chamber wall does not complete in time. 9 drones falling, 10 workers falling. That was such an unfortunate moment for Rex. 13 drones go down. Not like this. And with that, yeah, Maru has crippled the economy. Maru with his mules does have the economic advantage here. Is going to be landing his third base. Rex desperately redroning. Trying to make use of these roaches as well. And will take a fourth. Oh boy. Not like this. As we do see Rex trying to reestablish himself, going for a fast infestation bit. Interesting choice. I imagine this infestation bit is going to be for infestors. Infestors are a good way to make up for supply deficits. It means that if Rex can land a good fungal, if he can catch a portion of the army, then he can outtrade Maru even with an otherwise subpar army. So I do like the use of infestors here just as a more supportive unit for the roaches, but we'll see if that's what we get into. Otherwise, we could try to rush into a hive, for example. This creep is spreading. Settling into our Ravager production. Infestation bit is now done. Oh, and there it is. No infestors, hive tech. This is ambitious. With hive tech, we gain access to Vipers, of course, and Vipers, likewise similar to infestors, can also be a really solid supportive unit. They can blinding cloud or abduct tanks. They can help deal with any kind of air-based units as well with parasitic bombs. Likewise, with +1 range on the way, it also feels like we should be working towards Hydra Lurker tech. No Hydra Den yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. If we see a Hydra Den, then it should be for Lurkers. Before we can even think about that though, Maru is pushing out. What is terrifying right now is that army supplies are similar, are even with each other, which is never a good thing for a roaching Zerg player. A Zerg player that's amassing roaches, again, this is supply deficient. The supply is inflated because of the roaches. So to be even is never a good sign. File's going to be connecting, one tank goes down, but no bailing speed. The bio army stims on forward. We're stimming and we're looking to win as we do shut down that hatchery. Base goes down, bailings are welding forward, but they will not connect. Yeah, the position is just too good. The base goes down, and now Rex, he's cut off from his own gold. The gold base under fire. Bailing speed now kicks in. But the spread is too good. The bailings get shut down, and now we're collapsing on top of the main army. We stim on forward. We focus on the Ravagers, the Queens, the Roaches. Everything falls. GG gets called, and Maru takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. The infamous bottle. Maru drinking his weight in water here, staying hydrated, and does take the first win. Rex did come in with a cheeky build, going for the gold and going into a roach rush, but alas, Maru did a great job at punishing it and at shutting it down as well. Very cool, calm, collected play there out of Maru. Very impressive performance so far, and we'll see what Rex has in store for us as we have our map of choice. We're going into Golden Aura. Okay. Golden Aura going to be coming up next here for Rex. And I wonder what kind of build he has planned. Again, I don't want to say that Rex is the cheesiest player out there, not at all, but usually in WTL, he comes in with a plan. Especially against Maru, he should be coming in with, you know, whether it's a roach-based all-in, maybe 2-based muta, like just something hyper-specialized to try to snipe Maru. Just because of the skill disparity, we'll see if he can. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Maru for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have Rex for Offside Esports. Again, Maru, the heavy favorite player, the heavy favorites, the best Terran in the world. Up against Rex, a pseudo teammate. Again, Team Vitality and Offside Esports, they are sister teams, if you will. They do have that connection. Wouldn't be surprised if they even converse, you know, in between or even out of game. Practice with each other. Rex did stay in Korea for quite some time. Might still be in Korea, I'm not too sure as to where Rex is staying. Ooh, as Maru is going for the low ground setup, it's 2-Rax Reaper. Now, we saw this earlier from Nicaract. Now we can see it in the hands of Maru. It's going to be 2-Rax Reaper here from our blue Terran player. The goal here is to deny the third. deny the third base and contain our opponent. We saw that Nickrak struggled to make this work on post-youth, but that was also post-youth. It was a more awkward map as well, where young Yakov was able to save his third, preserve it, and take a lead as a result. Here, I'm sure Maru is going to be that much more attentive with his Reapers, and should be able to contain Rex. We'll see. We shall see, as Reaper production is going to be on the way. Again, Maru has the option to just stick with 3 Reapers or commit into 5. It will depend on whether or not Rex tries to expand. If he commits to a third base, that will trigger Maru to invest a little bit harder and make an extra wave of Reapers to make sure he does punish the Zerg player. Here we go. As the Reapers are on the way, the Overlord will confirm this, as the Overlord is moving in from Rex. Will confirm both Raxes. Is now aware. With this, Rex should stay in gas. Usually the Zerg player pulls out of gas to be efficient, because we don't need link speed that early on. Against 2-Rax Reaper, we need link speed. We need link speed as quickly as possible, so we're staying in gas, and we should be prioritizing that. Likewise, we're staying on 2 bases. We should not be rushing into the third. Is the typical response here. Reaper dips into the main, and we get a drone! Oh, that should not have happened. 1 drone already going down. Good pick up here by Maru. Third base is denied. Rex contained to 2. And that means that Maru only needs 3 Reapers. He doesn't need a 4th and 5th Reaper. You can see he's already making Marines. Maru is transitioning out of this into his expansion, into a 2-base setup. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they do find another drone. Oh, this is becoming too much. 2 drones go down. A nice catch here by Rex. He's in position, shutting down both Reapers. Very impressive. Rex, very nicely done. Shuts down 2 of those Reapers, as Maru was a little bit too greedy. Likewise, Rex has to be careful with that Overlord. Oh, as it's taking a lot of damage. Rex can finally expand. His third base was delayed, and it looks like this Overlord is gonna go down. Yeah, just a little bit too ambitious there. The Overlord will fall. That does supply block Rex. Oh, supply blocks this early on are brutal. And Maru's going 3cc. It's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 from Maru. Very economic follow-up, leading into a stim timing. Into a double medevac drop. Marines are amassing. You can see the tech lab on the racks. That should be for stim. For eventual drop play. Until then, Maru's going to be stuck at home. He will have some map presence with the Hellion production, so he's going to have a couple of Hellions to work with, but for the most part, Maru is going to be stuck at home, and Rex is going to be free to drone up, and he needs to drone as much as possible. Does need to drone up as best he can. Oh my god. So my apologies. Does need to drone up as best he can. I was trying to change the Twitch title as we are settling in. But this is the clean feed. The clean feed. Shout out to the WTL Observer. I believe it's still Moku. Moku is a Chinese Zerg player, and he's observing for SC Boy and World Team League. And Kung Fu Cup. And all things SC Boy related. As the Hellions do try to dive in. From here, Maru going to be just amassing his Hellions. Stim is on the way. We do see that Rex is trying to stabilize. He's just trying to stabilize, getting into his own safety. Baneling Nest. I believe that is a Baneling Nest before Lair, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll have Banelings ready for a Hellbat push. Going into a spy. Okay, that I was not expecting. Sorry, the Lair is done. But we're getting into Muta play. Okay, Rex. I see you. Muta's going to be on the horizon here for Rex. Meanwhile, Hellions, they do dip in. Catching some of these tumors. Liberator into the main. Oh, Queen goes down. Rex having a hard time keeping up. Queen falls. Hellions, they threaten that third. Drone's going down, and oh, do we get a surround? Oh, bit of an overextension. Very nice catch here by Rex. As he does surround the Hellions, he does completely shut them down. Finally, something going Rex's way. On top of that, he doesn't just shut down the Hellions, but I believe that this means that Maru has not scouted the tech. The Spire, so far, I believe, is hidden. Hidden at that natural. Despite that, remember, we spoke about the stim timing. Stim is done, and we have medevacs, we're pushing out with Marines and even a tank. This is going to be a risky, a scary moment for Rex. Right now, he wants to build up his resources for mutas, but he needs Ling Bane. He needs Ling Bane to defend, to hold on. Liberator gets zoned away, tank getting sieged up within range of the gases. Marines are pushing forward. They do push forward, they dive into the mineral line. And the gas geysers are going to be shut down. It looks like Rex should be able to get on top of the tank, but yeah, the bio army picks up and pulls back. We do deny any kind of surface area. The tank survives. Oh my god. For a little bit longer as it's targeted down by the queens. Mutas are now on the way. Rex holds. Rex holds on. It did cost him a little bit, as the observer's pointing out. Spire has not been scouted. Bailings are rolling it. Oh my god. Nice target firing out of Maru. Does focus down some Bailings. Mutas are spotted. A big catch in Maru. He's not letting up. He scans to confirm. Mutas are on the way, but the tank does reposition. And Mutas, they can't really help too much against this. Gas Geyser goes down. Mutas going for a counterattack. A bit of a desperation move here from Rex, and he does manage to get into a mineral line, but the turret finishes. The turret does finish in time. Again, that was a big scuff for Maru earlier, getting eyes onto those mutas. And the mutas are being forced back. These mutas, they had to get some damage done, and you can see the bio army snowballing out of control. The hat-trick falls! The third base falls. Rex knocked down to 2 bases, is expanding towards the north, does have a backup third, was meant to be a fourth. Lings do threaten a run by. And Maru, he's content with his kill, and now he's rotating over towards the fresh third base. Bailings are rolling in, but Bailing speed is not done. A nice spread here by Maru. The split is pretty impressive. We shut down every single Bailing. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the reason why Bailing speed was delayed is because of the mutas. Because of that Spire, because of the mutas. Bailing speed was delayed. And we're pushing on forward. We're snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Maru will take the 2-0. GG, well played. I mean, Maru did come in as the favorite player. He is the best Terran in the world. It would have been difficult for anyone to go up against him, for almost anyone. Again, you have to be some of the best to contest against Maru, and Rex does bow out. But GG, well played. I do appreciate that Rex came in as the man with the plan. Did come in with some specialized builds in both Game 1 and Game 2. Whew. And now we can have a look at the rest of the series. Maru starts off with a 2-0 lead. Up next, we have Ryung versus Euthermal, followed by Solar versus Firefly. Let's go. I'm looking forward to the TVT. Honestly, Mark is an amazing player. Mark is an amazing player here. Euthermal, his TVT is straight up his best matchup. He even went tied up 1-1 last week with Oliveira. He had a very impressive showing versus Oliveira of all players, and he almost 2-0'd, to be honest. Like, Euthermal was looking crazy in that TVT. So I'm just updating the title. Oliveira was looking crazy in that TVT, looking very, very impressive. Sorry, Euthermal was looking very impressive at that TVT. So how does he compare to Ryung? The problem here is that Ryung is also a TVT sniper. He is known for his Terran versus Terran. So this is not going to be an easy one here. So have a look at our players. There we go. The cams are on. Whew. You can see Game 1, Oceanborn. Game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. Now, Ryung, he is the Clem. What did we call him? The Clem Crusher. Ryung was the MVP of WTL last season, where he was the one to put a stop to Clem. This was back when Clem was a DreamHack Atlanta champion, and Clem was on fire. Ryung was on to stop him in his tracks. Likewise, Ryung has taken down any Terran player out there. He has some of the best TVT in the world, so this is going to be quite a challenge for Euthermal, but I want to believe. He's not playing random, he is not. He is not. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have Euthermal for Offside Esports. For those that are curious, for those who are maybe unaware, shout out to the sponsors, of course, of Doyu, Bio, Autofool, and SC Boy. Much love. For those that are curious, Euthermal was competing as random at the start of the season for the first 2 weeks. I think it was the first 2 weeks of WTL he was competing as random, and it wasn't just in WTL, in ESL Open Cup Asia, in ESL Open Cup Europe, in all these ESL Open Cups, and all these weekly tournaments like OSC, King of the Hill, for example. Euthermal was playing random. Euthermal stopped playing random like 3 weeks ago. He stopped playing random, and he committed to Terran. I think it was last week when we were casting him. We asked him, and Euthermal, he said that he hasn't played Zerg or Protoss in like over a month. He has stopped playing random. He stopped off racing, and I think a big reason for it is I think Euthermal is now taking like competing like seriously again. I think maybe like his passion has been sparked, whether it's in World Team League, now competing for a team after a long time, and playing in all these ESL Open Cups. Euthermal, he's now embraced Terran once again. Ex-content creator, true. No longer is he a content creator playing random. Now he's turning back into a pro gamer. You do love to see it. But yeah, Euthermal, he has been committed to Terran over the past 3 or so weeks, maybe month of StarCraft. Nothing but Terran from Euthermal. And he's been looking good. He's been looking impressive. I appreciate it. Again, his TBT is terrifying. So this series could go either way. I want to believe. I want to believe that the series could go either way. We could even see a 1-1 tied score. So now we're settling in. Again, it was a Rax Expand out of Ryung, Economic Opener out of our South Korean Terran, more aggressive Double Gas Opener out of Euthermal. Euthermal going for a much faster factory. You can see the factory is almost done. Reaper dips in. We have the SCV to tank a shot, but we have a Marine as well. Yeah, SCV does fall, and Ryung holds. It was a cheeky move by Euthermal. If the Marine wasn't there, then Euthermal may have been able to break that Reaper, but Ryung was ready for it. Does deflect Euthermal. Back at home, Euthermal getting into his 1-1-1. His CC now on location, but Euthermal will be behind the economy, but ahead in factory production. And the starport. Starport's on the way. Ryung still finishing up his own factory. Getting into Cyclone production. Clem de la Clem. Yakuzaku? No. That's Yaku, Papa. That's Yaku. I was fun fact. I was going over the Yaku intro the other day. I think it was during the DreamHack cast. I was going over the copy pasta. Good times. It's so nostalgic. The original Yaku intro. It's beautiful. I tried to do it. I was like practicing it when I was in voice call with Yaku, and I couldn't do it. Like I didn't have the breath for it. Like I ran out of breath like halfway through. I was like it's so long. Oh my god. I was trying to do it all in one go, and I couldn't, Papi. I couldn't. Yakuzaku is French? No, Yakuzaku, it's a long story. it's a long story, Papi. It's a long story. He's the creme of the creme, though. You can even do Spanish play, which is true. You gotta pace yourself through the intro and know when to take breaths. Yeah, for sure. There's a meta to it. You know? There's an art form to expressing the introduction of Yaku. It takes experience, takes practice. Not easy. Sure, people are listening though. What the hell are you talking about? Don't worry about it. If you're an old school viewer of the CranKy Ducklings from like 2018, 2019, 2020, then you know. For now, Euthermal going for his job, being forced out of the natural. Third CC's on the way for Ryung. Likewise, same can be said for Euthermal. Both players are expanding. Both players are working towards their third bases, despite the differing openers. And, I mean, Ryung does have a lead. You can see the worker count. 42 workers to 35 of Euthermal. Because of the early game, Ryung has been able to maintain that better and superior economy. But there's been no major aggression here, so Ryung just maintaining that, able to get into his third base. Euthermal does confirm the timing of the third with this drop. And very nice juggling. Does not lose any of these Cyclones. Very nicely done here by Euthermal. Does pull back. He spots a third base and he takes his own. As Euthermal does have map control with that drop. Scan reveals the third base floating over, I believe. I think Ryung caught a glimpse and should be expanding himself. I should probably have a clip of that somewhere. I think there is. I don't know if there's like an updated clip of the most modern Yaku intro, but like the newest one, but I'm sure there's plenty of clips out there. Tell you what, tomorrow when I cast with Yaku, I'll do the intro. I'll introduce Yaku properly for the first time in years. So make sure to tune into ESL Asia to know what we're talking about. To be like, Yaku intro, what are you talking? You'll understand. Just be there for ESL Asia. I'll do my best. I'm casting with Yaku tomorrow. Until then, though, we're settling in. Third bases have been taken for both Ryung and Euthermal. It's been a relatively passive game. I mean, we've seen some gives and takes here. We've seen Euthermal try to be aggressive and try to be active. I mean, hey, you got 2 SCVs with that auto turret harass. Was going for his drop play earlier. Nothing major. Thanks to that worker damage, Euthermal, he does even up the work count a little bit more, but he's still behind. Ryung on 57, Euthermal still on 53. The Ryung still does maintain. As Euthermal is being active, scanning the main base. Getting eyes on the production. We do manage to catch a couple of spotted Marines. Very nice. Stripping vision away from Ryung. And we're playing Biotank. No one is embracing mech. Now, we have seen Ryung and Euthermal play mech in the past. But at least for game 1, it's going to be Biotank. I do love to see it. No mech yet. He's going to introduce us to the glory of live VIP. The dedication, the glory, the oh. Oh no. Yaku can have his turn. We'll get there. As Ryung is going for the double drop on the right hand side. We're going to slip into that natural. Likewise, we do see Euthermal going for his own double drop as well. Both players being active. Ryung moving out with his main army though. Does have that triple Raven. Double drop does slip into the main base. Can we deny combat shields? Not quite. We go for the mineral line. Manage to pick off an SCV. Trade against the Marines. We pick up. We get the hell out of there. At the same time, Ryung pushing in towards that third base. And Euthermal, is he out of position? He did react quite strongly to that drop. We're going for the disables. We do unsiege just in time. Second tank likewise disabled as well. Mass auto turrets get thrown down. And we are breaking the third. One tank falls. So will the other. Drop back into the main. We're pulling Euthermal apart. One medevac goes down, but we're within range. Another tank falls in the main. Boys are being pulled. SCVs are going down. And Euthermal's getting pulled apart. Workers falling left and right. He already had an economic deficit, but that's going to be 19 SCVs going down. Ryung just a clinic of a push here. Able to distract Euthermal, drag him out of position. And take advantage of him. Euthermal going for a desperation doom drop. That's a lot of drops. That's a lot of medevacs. That's a doom drop if I've ever seen one. A very risky maneuver, a Hail Mary play for Euthermal. It is his only chance. In a standard game from here, we cannot macro out of this. And we're going for the main. We're going for the main base as one turret in position. Ryung pushing forward in towards the main base of Euthermal, laying siege. And Ryung is back at home, but not quite ready in the main. And here we go, the drop does arrive. Cyclones, Marines, no tanks, so we won't be able to siege up. We do get a bunch of SCVs. Ryung, he stims on forward, but he doesn't have enough. Euthermal, he stands his ground. Had the bit of concave, had the support of the medevacs. Tank does siege. But Euthermal is camping the main base. At the same time, Ryung also pushing into the main of Euthermal. Not having as much success. The tank does siege up. Euthermal, can we bring this back? I mean, this Hail Mary play, it's putting in some work. We focus at the factory, we get the stable on the tank. Ooh, Ryung doesn't push it. The medevac! Medevac is so low. But here we go with reinforcements. Looks like Ryung, he does regain control of his main base, shuts down the drop, forces it back. Ryung still maintains an economic lead, but not as large as it once was. And we're not done as we drop towards the third base. Now it's Ryung's turn to be pulled apart. Cannot keep up. Thermal. We're bringing it back. Oh my god. Tank volleys go up. Ravens not quite in position. And Ryung, despite the lead that he once had, not there anymore, is taking a fourth. Is taking a fourth base. Thermal reestablishing his third. Ryung still with a slight worker lead. The Ravens survive. That's actually a really important factor here. If the Ravens are turning back around to be repaired, and we'll have them for the next fight. We should have them for the next fight, but you can see Thermal does not want to give Ryung any breathing room. He's moving out. Pushing right through the center of the map. Up the ramp. Vikings lead the charge. We snipe a medevac. Raven's going to be going down. But we only get one spell. But this ramp is brutal. The choke point is brutal. GG gets called. Ryung. Whew. Shaking his head a little bit there. That was not an easy game, but does take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played again. That was a brutal choke point. Ryung was lying in wait, and Thermal pushing up a ramp into a concave was not meant to be. But a shout out to Thermal because that was a close game. Things were looking so dire for Thermal. Things were looking brutal for him, but he goes for a Hail Mary play, goes for a massive Dune drop into the main base, and he made a game out of it, made it close. As close as he could. I step back away. Calm down, Bobby. Shaking my head. As we're loading in the bottom of the corner, we have Ryung for Team Vitality. And in the top right, we have Thermal for Offside Esports. Let's go. Get Offside Esports. They are up against the wall. I don't believe we can bring it back. There are no words to describe how much light it does for Stark. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We do our best. We do our best here on the CranKy Ducklings. It's not just me. If I was on my own, the CranKy Ducklings would not be here. The CranKy Ducklings would not be anywhere near as even successful as it is now. Massive shout to Steel Mold, to Yakuzaku, to Kuro as well, 16 Swords and Seki. Even some of the other kind of like CranKy Duckling or Ashibro as well, and even some of the CranKy Duckling adjacent people like Chase, even Chappie's jumped on. Alex back in the day, for those who remember Alex, she used to cast on the channel. Dally as well, Dally used to cast. Yoda Slim, yo, who remembers the Battle of the Americas Yoda Slim cast with the crazy Yoda stories? Yoda every week he'd come in with a crazy story about what he did over the weekend. I'm shaking my head. He was an animal, Bob. He was an animal. The CranKy Ducklings were a team of casters, of admins, of players, all coming together. Much love, much love. Big shout out. Whew. But we are settling in. What's the phrase? As we're going for 2-Rack Reaper, by the way. 2-Rack Reaper out of Thermal. Let's go. Coming into this game, I'm just settling into this. I was talking about how, like, you know what? Maybe Thermal, maybe he just wants to settle into a long. Oh, the SCV is stuck. No shot. The SCV is stuck. Let him out. Let him free. But it's going to be 2-Rax Reaper, only 1 Rax Proxied, so not the most committed opener of Thermal. It is a little bit more middle of the road. It is designed to maybe get some early game damage, but we'll transition out of this. There we go. We set the SCV free. That will delay additional Reaper production as the SCV is let out of jail. Reapers, they do dip into the natural. Ooh, 1 SCV goes down. We do manage to get the SCV. We do delay the expansion. Here we go. Bunker is now on the way. Ryung, can we save that base? It's so low. We force a cancel. Very nicely done here by Thermal. Throwing a wrench in the works and delaying the economy here of Ryung. SCV goes down. Bunker is denied. Hellion has made it out as well, but we get another SCV. We delay the CC even longer here. 2 workers go down. Big delay on the command center. Ryung is stuck on 1 base. And behind this, oh my god, that is not a CC. Thermal, behind this, he's going for a factory into Starport. No command center yet from Thermal. This is looking very committed. Borderline the beginning of a 1 base all in. I almost said 2 base. Now 1 base all in here from Thermal. Doubling down. Hyper aggressive. Reapers, Hellions are flooding across the map. With this medevac, we can go into... I'm curious what we're going to be going into, whether we go into Viking, Liberator, medevac. We'll see what we embrace. As the starport is now done, there it is, medevac on the way. With this, we can ferry into the main with those Hellions. At the same time, Ryung does slip behind enemy lines here into the mineral line. But that means that Ryung has less to defend. He has less to defend. Boys are being pulled. A Hellion gets focused down. SCVs as well. But the Cyclone does survive. We hold the line. Reapers, they slip into the main. Workers are falling. Ooh. Thermal turning back around. Getting 3 SCV kills. Barely getting a 4. The 5th SCV. 5 workers go down. But now we've been cleaned up and now Thermal can focus on his push. And he needs to break Ryung here and now. Now we're expanding, but this is such a late expansion for Thermal. We need to make this army worth it. And what do we have? We have 5 Reapers, sorry, 6 Reapers, 2 Hellions. We have a medevac to drop in, to juggle, to break the lock-ons of the Cyclone, more importantly. And can we delay the expansion? 7th Reaper has arrived. We have the high ground. 3 Cyclones will we shut down the Hellions. Ah, that was a brutal push. Yeah, Thermal has to back off. And Ryung expands. Ryung is held, Ryung expands, Ryung has a worker lead already, and now that worker lead is going to get even greater with that 2-base economy. This wasn't enough for Thermal. He needs more. Rotating back in. Could potentially get the mineral line, but now we have plenty to defend. Plenty in position. I'm trying to find a clip of Yaku intro, but I keep getting distracted by clips of Rufus. Oh, real Fiat. Rufus is beautiful. He's the most beautiful, elegant cat out there. Real Fiat. Jug. As do have our Liberator laying siege to the main. Ooh, SCVs are going down. And there's no response. There's no answer here. 5 workers full. Where's the anti-air? We have Reapers, we have Hellions, we have medevacs, we have nothing that shoots up. Cyclone production has commenced for Thermal, Viking as well, but they are so late. GG gets called. We don't even get the final fight as we get shut down, and Ryung will take the series at 2-0, claiming victory here for Team Vitality. GG, well played again. It was just a rough game there for Thermal. A very aggressive build. Proxy 2 racks into a 1-base all-in. Thermal needed more than just to delay the natural base. He needed to snowball out of control, kill some of the Cyclones, break through the Reapers, and just go for the throat. But alas, Thermal was not able to find that damage. Ryung, really nice positioning, really nice foresight to go for the counterattack as well. Did delay the push. And it was able to build up into 3 Cyclones in that main base. Was just unbreakable, unbroken. GG. GG, Ryung does take it 2-0, and now we're getting ready for our next best of 2. Even though Team Vitality will win this, Team Vitality, they will secure victory here, we will still jump into our next best of 2. We will still fight for map score and fight for individual player score as well. Up next, Solar versus Firefly. And I'm looking forward to this. I know that Team Vitality has been looking dominant. They've been looking very strong and very powerful, but I believe in the power of the Firefly. I can't believe my eyes. 10,000 Fireflies. Game 1 on Amphion. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top bottom left hand corner of Amphion, we have Solar for Team Vitality. In the top left, we have Firefly for Offside Esports. Again, Firefly has been a very hot player as of the past 2 years. Like, Firefly has been getting better and better results, knocking down some big names time and time again. He has been on the rise. And because of that, even though Solar is a more accomplished name, even though he's a veteran of the scene of StarCraft, he has many championship titles under his belt. Solar is one of the best Zerg players in the world. Firefly has it in him to make a series out of this. I want to believe that Firefly can make a series out of this, can either tie things up or even take the 2-0, as unlikely as that sounds. I want to believe. Here we go. As for now, we're settling in. We are going to be settling in here, just getting into our natural base. It's going to be a gate expand into Cybercore for Firefly. Likewise, Solar going for a hatch gas pool. We are loading into Amphion. Amphion is one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool. We don't see too much ZVP here, again, just because of how often we do veto. But WTL has a unique format. The admins, the organizers, they pick the starting map ahead of time. They pick the starting map. There is no vetoes, no choice about it. Players are forced to compete on this map. On Amphion. I'm sure Solar and Firefly are coming in prepared. But how do we approach this? How do we approach our game here? As the Overlord is sent out, does confirm the opener, making sure there's no shenanigans, making sure there's no like Nexus first, for example, or 2-gate opener. Standard builds for the time being. And we should be settling in. Now, you can see Solar, he checks the mineral line there. Just because you can mine through those minerals and expand quite quickly, that triangular third base is very secure, just because the opposing player needs to mine through those minerals or break down rocks ahead of time to try to apply any kind of pressure there. Meanwhile, you can see on the minimap that Solar is already mining through those minerals. Very early on, the minerals are being mined through. You can see there, just so Solar, if that base is taken, can apply some pressure. Meanwhile, Firefly going for a Stargate opener. Standard stuff so far. Stargate into Oracle. Do love to see it. The teams can decide which player to send out on which map, right? No, they cannot. No, they cannot. I did misspeak. I think it was like a year ago or something when I said they could. This is not exactly Pro League. Pro League had a format like that where the maps were revealed first and then teams could choose. That was the Pro League format. Here in WTL, the players are chosen first. The player order is chosen first, and then the maps are revealed. So you don't know what map you're sending players out on. you have no idea. You're sending them out blind, and then the map is revealed afterwards, and then you have a couple of days to prepare. You have a couple of days to prepare, but you cannot specifically send a player out on a map of your choice. Just as a heads up. The reasoning for this, and it was the case in Pro League as well, because on Pro League the maps were revealed ahead of time, it led to a lot of mirror matchups. We had a lot of ZVZ, PvP, and TVT, specifically because teams and players were aware of the maps first, so they would usually lead into a lot of mirror matchups as a result. That is what I believe one of the big reasons why WTO doesn't do it, to avoid that from happening. Because there are certain maps where certain races are stronger and better, and it leads into that kind of dynamic. So as a way to avoid too many mirror matchups, that's why WTO doesn't reveal the maps first. So there's pros and cons to it, right? There's pros and cons. Like, the downside is that sometimes it can be a little bit imbalanced. Like, we've seen Zerg players force on Dynasty and they struggle. They struggle. So, like, the reality is that there are certain maps that are really brutal for certain races, like Dynasty, like Post-Youth as well is another big one. Before this, you know, maps like Radisson Station as well were forced. But you know what? We, as viewers and as a caster, I enjoy it. They may not be the most balanced maps, they may not be the most liked maps, but we force them to play. Otherwise, they just get vetoed. Otherwise, they just in like a more standard format, they just vetoed time and time again. No. Not in WTL. We force people to play on Dynasty. We're evil like that. For our enjoyment, Bobby, for our enjoyment. We force them to play on Post-Youth. As for now, it's going to be Void Ray first, into a second Void Ray. Oh my god, my apologies, I was a little bit distracted by story time. But Lings, they do get across the map, they do apply pressure to the linear third. Second Void Ray's on the way. First one is going to be fended off for now. We're looking to deny vision, deny scouting. That's the power of a Void Ray opener, and we have committed into not just 2 Void Rays, we're getting up to 5 Voids? This should be charged, right? With this 4 Twilight Council follow-up, we have seen some Void Ray charge all-ins on 3 bases. That is a thing that does pop in. But this is a wild choice here by Firefly, as he has not revealed those Void Rays. And I'm really excited to see what is chosen, what tech of choice with that Twilight Council. What upgrade do we go for? Blink. Okay, we're not going for charge. It's going to be Blink instead. Interesting. Just because we spent a lot of gas on Void Rays already, if Solar went for a Roach all-in, then Firefly would be ready for it, but Solar's droning. Winding it back a little bit here. Solar, he's on 3 bases. He's droning. He's getting infestation, but he's working towards a 4th, I imagine, and getting ready for Hive Tech. Like, Solar's playing macro. These Void Rays are a big investment. We need to do something with this. And here we go. We're coming in for a bit of a backstab, slipping in behind the 3rd base in towards the main. And we've seen this before. Can we kill the base? Can we right-click the lair? Oh, not quite. Initially we're going for the Queen. Spore goes down. Queen thereafter. The transfuse just in time. Yeah, we keep the Queens alive. At the same time, Link counterattack here at the 3rd base. Probes are falling. Adepts, they get into the middle line, but Roaches are in position. Solar, he defends. Solar, he attacks. He gets 4 worker kills, and he hasn't lost anything yet. Oh, but I spoke too soon. Void Rays, they rotate from the main into the 3rd. Back and forth, making use of the short rush distance by air. Queen's having a hard time keeping up, but Queen goes down. I'm getting some like deja vu from 2021, like Void Ray meta, where you rotate between the 3rd and the main, back and forth over and over again, and the Queens just cannot keep up with the mobility of these Void Rays. Roach push has arrived, and we force the recall. Phew. Things were looking a little bit dire. Solar did lose 6 drones, and I was worried he was going to lose more, but the Roach push does force Firefly back home. Working towards Blink, we can see Solar throwing down a Hydra Den. And in the midst of all this chaos, Firefly, he has a comparable economy. 66 probes to 73 drones. Firefly is keeping up. This has been a wonky game, though. This has been a wild one. Very unorthodox, but I mean, Firefly, he's cooking. He's cooking, Pat. He's cooking. I'm here for it. I'm also very hungry. We've been casting for 5 hours and I've not eaten, so I'm looking forward to snacking on something in between the series here. In between the 1st and 2nd match. But for now, Adepts threaten the shade. Lurker Den is on the way. We spoke about this earlier when we saw the infestation bit, but Solar is working towards Lurker Tech. Adepts a shade in. Drones are going down. Late reaction of the Solar at the same time. Void Rays. No, they fly over the Queens. Oh, we do pull back in time. Void Rays, they do survive. But they take a lot of damage. At the same time, we dive onto Creep. Very deep onto Creep. Firefly, calm down. Is punished. Bleeds out a Stalker. But again, no detection, so the Creep is standing strong here for Solar. More reinforcements on the way. We have a charge follow-up. Fleet Beacon here for Sky Toss. Okay. Again, Firefly applying pressure with his gateway-based army, but he is working towards the next step. Should be throwing down a 2nd and a 3rd Stargate soon thereafter. Getting ready for Skytals. There it is. 2nd Stargate is on the way, and the 3rd Stargate as well. This is 2/3 of the card list. Let's go. The Yakuzaku. Okay. Beautiful. Meanwhile, Firefly does find a way in. Dives into the 3rd base. Army's out of position. Overlords are going down. We don't quite supply block Solar yet, but we do catch a couple of Queens. Great. Again, great use of the terrain here for Firefly. Blinks in and blinks the hell out of there. Solar was not ready at his 3rd. And because Firefly is being so active, we're getting away with carriers. As long as Solar's kept at home, we can get away with that carrier production. The whole position! Oh my god! Massive spine shots! Oh my god, half the Stalkers go down in the blink of an eye. I don't think that was whole position, but I think that Solar just didn't have high ground vision and the volley was insane. That was an insane volley there from Solar. Ay. And now we're moving out. Firefly is in trouble. Trying to get into carries, but no, we're not ready. Firefly needs more time. He needs more time here as we are moving out. Waddling on in. Knocking down those rocks. Rocks are being knocked down, headed towards that 4th. And Solar has maxed out. Firefly not too far behind him. But the Lurkers have arrived. Yeah, they're getting within range of the Nexus. The 4th base is under fire. Void Rays trying to dive in, but we have Hydras. Plenty of Hydras to support. Lurkers, they're pushing forward. Carriers are revealed, but we only have 1. The carrier count is not high enough. We're not there. Again, a very strong timing here for Solar before the carrier count, before the Sky Toss gets out of hand. Yeah, you can see the interceptor being focused down. Barely any interceptors, barely any DPS. The fourth has been broken, and so will the third. This was a wild game, a very, very interesting one. A very unique style here out of Firefly, going for, what was it, 5 Void Rays into Blink, into Sky Toss. Did do surprisingly well initially, but he got caught out in the center of the map, bled out too many Stalkers, and the snowball had begun then and there. The snowball started rolling, and it got larger and larger, got out of hand, got out of control. And Firefly just cannot contend against this, not anymore. Not with only 3 carriers. And Hydras can deal with this. They start to step forward, they get under the carriers, they're going down one after the other. And Solar has done it, he's broken the back of Firefly. It was a good effort, GG gets called, and Solar takes game number 1. GG. Oh, GG, well played. Solar in a very wild game there. I mean, Firefly had his moments, right? He was able to catch a couple of workers here and there. He was able to outposition Solar at times. Able to do quite nicely with his initial Void Ray push as well, sniping queens and sniping drones. But alas, he was caught out in the center, lost so many Stalkers while he was transitioning, and was caught out in the end. And now we're diving right into game number 2. We have Solar for Team Vitality. In the top right and in the top left, we have Firefly for Offside Esports. Whew. Oh my god. Oh my god, Pappy. Let's go. Very little time to breathe as we dive right into our next game. Now again, because, I don't know if you can notice this, I do bring it up every now and then, but because our players don't have cams on, as you can see, there's no webcams, and because we dove straight into the next game, because there was no preparation needed, there was no map pick involved there, it's because this is via replays. For whatever reason, either Solar or Firefly wasn't available, so they did play ahead of time and they submitted replays instead. The previous matches were live, like Maru versus Euthermal and Ryung versus Euthermal and Maru versus Rex. They were live because we had cams showing. Here, because there's no cams, it's most likely submitted ahead of time. We still don't know the series, we still don't know the results, but the players are aware. And again, we are willing to accommodate for this, like in case there's like scheduling issues with like DreamHack or traveling or something going on, then WTL are willing to accommodate and allow the players to play first. They allow them to play first and to submit those replays. So much love to WTL, much love. Catching up in the chat. I think it was much more interesting when teams could try to predict player picks based on maps and counter each other than basically random player maps. Player map selection. I agree. I was a big fan of Pro League. I would watch Pro League every single week. I would I would actually be the one to update Wikipedia. I would be the one back in the day that I would be the one updating Wikipedia as quickly as possible with Pro League results. I'd be posting about it as well and announcing like when Pro League would begin and all this stuff. Like, I loved Pro League, and I agree, like it is a really cool dynamic. There's a lot more strategy involved, right, with like counter picking and predicting and countering the counter and all this stuff. There's layers, right? There's a lot of layers involved. On top of that, in Pro League, players were given more time to prepare. In Pro League, it was a week. In WTL, I think it's like 4 days. It's slightly less than a week. In WTL, it's less time because in WTL, right, first the players have to be picked and then the maps afterwards. Like, it's a bit of a longer process, and they give teams a little bit more time to select their players. So it is a little bit different, but I still enjoy it though. Like, even though I preferred the Pro League format, I still do really love WTL. Like, it's definitely one of my favorite things to cast, for sure. I think the ideal is that we have 2 team leagues, right? We have WTL format, and then we have another team league with like Pro League format or something. That's the ideal, but we have to take with what we have, and I appreciate it for what World Team League has brought to StarCraft. Again, it isn't just the fact that World Team League has a more unique initial player selection, but also the loser's pick is massive as well. Loser's pick is massive with no vetoes. And the best of two. Of course, the best of two format, right? Like, Pro League wasn't best of two. Pro League was best of ones. But yeah, just very different format in general. Meanwhile, here we go. We are settling in. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of Firefly, going for those initial oracles. Ling Harass is going to force the oracle to spend its pulsar beams energy back at home. Won't be able to harass across the map. Not yet. Not until the second oracle does arrive. So Firefly is stuck at home, and Solar has extra time to drone and to get ready for the oracle harassment. So Solar has some breathing room here as we're settling into Ghost River. I didn't even get to talk about it, but Ghost River was Firefly's map of choice. And Ghost River is going to be interesting here. I mean, it has a short rush distance by ground. I would not be surprised. Yep, there's the Twilight Council. I would not be surprised if Firefly goes for a fast blink into something like a 3-base all-in. As I say that, there's a Forge on the way. Never mind. With the Forge on the way, that usually doesn't dictate 3-base play. That's usually for a longer game. Ooh, as 6 drones going to be going down. Very nicely done here by Firefly. We catch 6 workers. Pretty big damage. Solo forced to re-drone. Firefly establishing his third. But again, Firefly with the Twilight Council and the Forge and the Robo as well. This is all pretty tech heavy. So I imagine Firefly is looking to establish his third and work on a 4th base thereafter. And there it is. Blink is on the way. With the Forge, we can get into +1. Meanwhile, we can see just Firefly settling in back at home, still keeping his oracles back as well, at least until his stalkers, sorry, his adepts do stabilize. There we go. It does move out for a counterattack. Solar still droning up, getting his own 4th base. And you can see, as we mentioned, when it comes to the tech-heavy style of Firefly, we're taking up even further. That is a second Robo and a Robotics Bay on the way. We're getting ready for Colossus production. There's going to be 4, 2, and then 4 Colossus thereafter. So Firefly is taking his gases at the 3rd, which means he's going to be expanding the walls to the wall! No, the wall is wide open. Firefly doing his best hero impression. Lings, they flood into the natural, they flood into the main base. Things are looking good, things are looking fine. Not anymore. That's going to be 7, 8 probe kills. We even get a surround on the Stalker. Blink is not done. Stalker goes down. We get 1, and we could even get another. So much lost mine time as well. Ay, ay, ay. And with that, Solar, he reciprocates the damage. Remember, he lost 6 drones earlier, but he gets 8 probe kills, gets a 4th base. Spire is on the way. That is a risky maneuver here from Solar. But after confirming all the tech, he saw the Robo. He saw the Robo, he saw the Bay, he saw the second Robo, he saw the gases at the 3rd base. Solar should be aware that he's safe to tech up like this. Into Spire. Into Mutas. So again, Solar should be able to get away with it. We'll see if he can. Meanwhile, we have a Ling drop poised to go into the main. Poised to go in. There we go. Lings are loading up. Going for the drop. At the same time, we can see Solar threatening a dive into the 3rd, keeping Firefly's attention at the 3rd base, allowing the drop to slip in. So again, Solar does distract Firefly, going for a warp into the main. Blink is done. We can avoid the surround. There we go. Much cleaner defense here from Firefly. At the same time, Solar threatens a dive. Force back. Spire's about to finish. Colossus are amassing. Again, we're making 2 Colossus at a time. Soon to be getting up to 4 Colossus. But here come the Mutas. Solar did a successful job here at just keeping the Protoss army busy. Keeping Firefly busy. Making sure he was safe at home. There's the 4th base now on the way. This 4th base is late for Firefly. It is delayed. Finally on the way. Again, because of how active Solar's been, we just haven't been able to expand. And these Mutas are going to be brutal. Unscattered Spire and unscattered Mutas, they can end the game. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Unscattered Mutas, they can get into a mineral line, wreak havoc, kill probes, and just force an all in. And I'm not too sure if Firefly is ready for that sort of thing. Mutas, they dive into the natural base. Stalkers almost get surrounded. Lings going straight for the 4th. Probes are going down. They are testing pylon. No shot. We depowered both Robos. The Artosis pylon goes down. The Robos are depowered, forcing a recall into the natural. Probes are going down left and right. 21 workers go down. And with this amount of mutas, we can fight the Stalkers. We can turn back. Stalkers getting picked off left and right. We do have to pull back for now, but that's 22 workers. These mutas have more than paid for themselves. They've crippled the economy of Firefly. We even chip away at the Colossus. Back at home, Solar still making mass muta, amassing links as well. Ready to engage with the army. Solar, he just ignores the Colossus, goes for a counterattack. Hits the third base. And we're entering like a weird base trade-ish scenario, where Firefly's going to be losing his fourth and his third, at the same time Solar pushing in, but Solar can at any moment turn back around. And Firefly has to end the game with this army. Oh, we sniped the Cyber Core. You know what that means? That means no more Stalkers. What you see is what you get. No more Stalkers available here for Firefly. Can only reinforce with Zealots. As the Stalkers are diving into the main, Queens are going down. Boys have been pulled as well. When did the boys get here? But the boys have been pulled and we're breaking into the main. At the same time, we can see Solo going for the elimination. Shutting down everything in the natural and now the main base as well. Now, Solar has plenty of bases towards the south, and he can pull the boys to also make more hatcheries elsewhere. Likewise, Firefly did evacuate with some probes, and Firefly can afford a Nexus. He has 500 minerals. We can throw down a base. There we go. Pylon is thrown down just in case. And we do have enough for that Nexus. As again, Solar is going for every building in the bases of Firefly. And Firefly, he's going to be stuck defending that pylon and the Nexus. Speaking of, we need that Nexus. Firefly is running out of buildings. He's running out of buildings as we speak. We need to throw that down. The probes are on creep. Uh-oh. Throwing down gas geysers, but we're coming in from behind. The prism goes down. The probes as well. Oh my god, every single worker falling. Okay, we do have another group of workers towards the bottom right. The pylon is spotted. There we go. There's the Nexus. Right next to the main army. Barely off of creep. But look at all those mutas. Mike, that's a massive amount of mutas. An apocalypse of mutas, if you will. 40 mutas. Ay. We do snipe some of them. And here we go. We come in for the surround. Lings from all sides. And mutas, they dive on the army. They focus on every single stalker. GG gets called. And Solar will take the series 2-0. Whew. GG, well played. Solar will win it here, and we get a clean sweep. Maru, Ryung, and Solar for Team Vitality go for a flawless victory. 6-0 over Offside Esports. But Team Vitality are one of the best teams in the league right now. They are a terrifying team. They have some of the best players in the world. They are the reigning champions. For those who don't know, Team Vitality, they are the reigning champions of WTL. They're on the top of the rankings. Difficult to bring them down, and Offside Esports have a rough showing there. I mean, again, I still look forward to seeing more of Rex, Euthermal, and Firefly. They're all amazing players. Just really rough to go up against Team Vitality of all teams. Just a rough matchup there. As we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for our next match of the night. You can see it here before you. It's going to be Team Liquid versus Platinum R8. Oh boy. Is going to be coming up next. I'm going to quickly just set up the title as well. But yeah, that's going to be our next series here. And we're going to be going on a short break. I am going to quickly get something to eat. Going to go on a short break. And when we come back, we will have our next best of 7 between Team Liquid and Platinum R8 Esports. Here we go. See you guys soon.
傲风 M6 旗舰 Pro 按摩遮盖小弹腰2.0。3D 云朵枕，空调座舱，硬地机械臂，
biu biu 是我运营的产品，我想通过它和更多不懂分寸的人一起探索世界的边界。正是这些不懂分寸的人，也许他们不被理解，任性、固执，甚至疯狂。
就是我。
但如果没人去打破边界，谁又能玩透世界呢？
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”， 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号，365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐。不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of World Team League WTL 2024 Summer Contest Round 5, day number 3. We just wrapped up with our first best of 7 of the night. We just wrapped up with Team Vitality versus Offside Esports. Did go heavily in favor of Team Vitality, but they are one of the best teams in the league. Here we're settling into a matchup that should be a little bit closer. We have Team Liquid versus Platinum R8. Again, Platinum Heroes and R8 Esports have joined forces. They've come together for a kind of joint union of a team, and I mean, hey, their team is that much better for it. Kellizer, of course, is the heavy hitter from R8 Esports, and we have a spicy matchup to kick things off. We have Clem versus Kellizer in a TVT. We have a Laser versus Shanaun in a ZVP, and Cure versus Young Yakov at the end of the night, a Terran versus Zerg matchup. Again, Young Yakov, he was just crowned the Sparkling Tuna Cup champion earlier before WTL. We just finished casting Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Young Yakov did win out in the end over Nickrat. 3-1 is our champion. I do recommend watching those VODs. It was a spicy best of 5. It was a wild tournament. Do recommend it. But for now, we are settling into a TVT. I don't want to get too ahead of myself talking about Young Yakov. We're here for Kellizer versus Clem. And specifically in the TVT matchup, like with a lot of players, right? Whenever we talk about Cyril's weakest matchup is ZVZ. Whenever we talk about Clem's weakest matchup, likewise, is TVT as well. If he were ever to fall, if there were ever to be an upset, a TVT is the most likely of scenarios for that. So I want to say that Kellizer has a chance. Clem is the favorite player, but I mean, I would not be surprised if we get a 1-1 score or even a 2-0. There is a chance here for Kellizer. He is a man with a plan. He always comes in with specialized builds with some more aggression, maybe some cheese, maybe some all-in, some more styles that's more in the face of his opponent. I'm ready. I'm excited. And here we go. You can see our players before us. Clem with the 900 ELO just behind Maru, but still a terrifying Terran in his own right. We have Kellizer on the right-hand side. Again, Kellizer, he doesn't have too much... I was going to say, he doesn't have too much experience in WTL. He was competing for Team Liquid for a time. That is true. But now, on another team... Oh, I just realized. This is a bit of a grudge match a little bit. Kellizer once was competing for Team Liquid. Now he's up against them. Let's go. We're diving in the top right-hand corner. We have Clem for Team Liquid. And in the bottom left, we have Kellizer, Diego for Platinum R8. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. But again, Kellizer was for a very long time representing Team Liquid, was a big part of their org, and of course last year did end up leaving Team Liquid. He, of course, still competing for them in WTL, and now has gone on to, I would imagine, greener pastures. And we'll see. We'll see if he can end up taking it to some of his ex-teammates. I'm sure there's no bad blood. I'm sure they're all good friends. Don't get me wrong. Diego's a great guy. So is Clem. They're all wholesome, baby. They're all wholesome. We'll see. We'll see how this does turn out, as we do see Clem opening up double gas. So is Kellezer. Here we go. Really oh, is that really Kozan? Oh my god, papi. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hope you're doing well. Clem v Kellezer. Kellezer takes that, I think, on some days. Clem probably the most other days. Couldn't have put it better myself. True, true. Kellezer on some, Clem on most. I would agree with that. Again, Clem is the favorite player, but we're settling in. We are going to be settling into our TVT. Again, because of the faster double gas opener out of Clem is going for that factory. Oh, likewise, Kellezer doing the same. Getting into his own factory opener as well. Again, Dynasty is one of those maps that we rarely see. Dynasty, of course, is a very, very interesting map with a pocket gold base. As a result, it is often vetoed. But here in WTL, there are no vetoes. We force players to play on some of these more unorthodox maps, and I'm curious how our players expand and when they take the gold. Taking the gold base as a natural is a really risky maneuver, and I don't expect that from either player. As you can see here, Clem expanding at the more standard natural location. Doesn't rush into the gold. Likewise, Kellezer's natural base is going to be delayed. Reaper has arrived. SCV goes down. Ay, ay, ay. SCV is going to get picked up. So a nice little delay. It means that Clem will have a slight lead in terms of his CC timing. Kellezer's is going to be a little bit later. So a good start for Clem. Meanwhile, Reaper Hellion moving out. Kellezer being active. Clem getting ready back at home, working towards his Cyclone. Meanwhile, Kellezer, if you look at the production tab, is continuing Reaper Hellion production. So Kellezer has to be careful not to overcommit. Oh, as he pulls back. But basically, Kellezer is looking to overwhelm. He's looking to overwhelm with additional Reapers and additional Hellions. His goal is to dive in, try to break through the defensive line of Clem, get into a mineral line, get some SCV damage. There's potential for Kellezer. The downside, now we have a Cyclone. Now we have a defensive Cyclone. The Cyclone, it's big, it's beefy, it's going to be the backbone of Clem's army. And we'll see if we can keep it alive as we do dive in. And the Reapers, they dive on forward, but the Cyclone has arrived. We focus down two of the Reapers already, and Clem, he holds. He shuts down the push. Kellezer has to back off. Again, not the most successful push here from Kellezer, and he was already slightly behind in terms of the workers, in terms of the base timing. So Clem getting these small victories here early on. Is settling into a second Cyclone just to be safe. And it's worth it, as Kellezer attempts to poke back in. As Kellezer backs off, Clem is working towards Raven production. Okay, we have our Raven in production. We have Interference Matrix as well. Just kind of your stock standard TVT. Kellezer, on the other hand, is not. I believe that's a reactor. Yeah, that's a reactor on the starport. So he's going into earlier tank production. And with that reactor, we could work towards Vikings. Show us what you got. There it is. Viking production has commenced. I'm curious. We'll keep an eye on Kellezer if he throws down a second starport. For now, is prioritizing Vikings. Now, the dynamic, or the way this works is, Clem has more potential with the ability to disable tanks, right? The Ravens, they're such a useful utility unit here in TVT. They have so much potential to catch an army, even in position, catch it off guard. So Ravens are massive. At the same time, because Kellezer is rushing into Vikings, his goal is to zone away these Ravens, to make sure the Ravens do not get close, do not close that gap, and get on top of those tanks and shut them down. So there's going to be a dance between the Vikings and the Ravens. Speaking of, we do catch the Raven. Okay, good positioning here out of Kellezer. Not able to get the kill, but does zone the Raven away for the time being. Raven is zoned away. Clem throwing down a third CC back at home. Working towards a longer macro game. Meanwhile, no third CC in sight yet from Kellezer. No second starport either. Just for now, focusing on tank Viking production. There it is! Second starport. You can see the production tab there. Second starport's on the way. It's a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in from Kellezer. With the second starport, the goal is to have an abundance of Vikings, build up and secure air control, then go into a Liberator. There it is. Liberator is on the way. Because of the air control, there's no answer to the Lib, and the Liberator can bully back the ground army of Clem. Again, the advantage of Clem is those Ravens, as we are pushing out across the map. Kellezer is going for a very committed push here. Cyclone's trying to pick away at the army. We do get a Reaper, but oh, it costs us a Cyclone. Not the best trade from Clem. Tanks are sieged up. Kelzer has to be careful not to overextend. Oh, Hellions are thrown away. Not the biggest of losses, but the Hellions do take some tank fire. And we're diving in. We land the Vikings. The tanks are exposed. The Ravens are out of position, and the tanks are going down one after the other. The Ravens know where they needed to be. And now we can keep pushing, but this did cost us all the Vikings, and boys are being pulled. Tanks are soon to siege up, but we can disable. There it is. There's the first disable in the first tank. Cyclone coming in from behind. Order starts are thrown down. One tank falls. But Kelzer does kite back, and he has momentum on his side. Remember, Kelzer has a tank lead, and Clem, he's in trouble. There we go. More order starts thrown down. Viking and Liberator has arrived. We're going for the Ravens. Going for the Ravens. Order charge. Oh, no! Oh, but a mispathing. Mispathing there, and Kelzer, he bleeds out Marines, and we need everything we can get. Again, this is still so close. Boys being pulled to repair the Ravens. Tanks getting within range of the natural. Liberator has arrived, but so are the Vikings for Clem. The Vikings are making that just in time. Big tank volley going off. Clem is bleeding out tanks. But the Ravens, they come in to clean up. Vikings land, and Clem, he is shutting this down. Whew, oh my god. This was a close game, though. This was a very close push. But again, Clem, he barely has enough. He's forcing back Kelzer. I mean, another Liberator has arrived. Kelzer is not out of this yet. But he's down to a single tank. It's barely standing. Barely alive. As Liberator does siege, forcing back the tank. Slowly leapfrogging forward. Kelzer does have air control, but there's a tank on the high ground. The tank on the high ground is gonna be shut down. Oh my god, Clem wants to get in trouble. Bleeding out his tank, he's down to one. And again, the Ravens, they can't add much. You can see the Ravens trying to come in from the right-hand side. The Vikings, don't quite spot this. CC's under fire. Liberator across the map. We have Vikings to defend. The boys are being pulled. Big disables here on the tanks. Yeah, Vikings are going down. And Clem, he breaks out. He breaks out of the contain, shuts down the tank, shuts down the Vikings. And remember, Kelzer was committed. He was all in. What do I mean by that? Clem this entire time was defending with a third CC. Clem has a third base. He hasn't landed it, but you can see on the minimap. You can see on the minimap, it's on the way. The third base is being landed on location. Clem is able to maintain a worker lead and extend that lead even further with that third. Kelzer's third is still not done. Still on the way. He was so committed with this. The goal there was to kill Clem. He wasn't able to. And now the game settles down. And Clem even retained every Raven. That is impressive. Despite all the Vikings, all the Ravens survived. The Ravens lived. We snipe a tank for free. But finally, some of these Ravens are going to get picked off, but they have already paid for themselves. If it wasn't for these Ravens, Clem would have died earlier, right? Like the disables, the auto turrets, they were so key in that defense. Kelzer was not able to deny them. Was not able to stop them. We can see Kelzer harassing in the main base with the Lib, getting 3 workers. Does get a couple of worker kills. And Clem is pushing out. And Clem with a 20 army supply lead. Could even potentially deny Stim. Stim is looking a little bit exposed. We'll see how Clem approaches. So he rotates over. Yeah, he stims on 4. There's no support for the tanks. The tanks are naked. They're exposed. Tank goes down. Liberator as well. And Clem, he does siege up. And he takes advantage of the natural base. But again, this was a very tense game. It was so close, but now Clem has control of the natural. That CC was so delayed, it's going to go down. That's a kill on the third base. A kill on the third CC. Tank on the high ground as well. Kelzer trying to hold on as best he can. But he has lost 15 workers. Boys are being pulled into tank fire. Kelzer will clean this up, but at what cost? At the cost of 28 SCVs. I mean, sure, there's a Liberator across the map wreaking havoc, but Clem, he has to handle this situation. He will shut it down. Has his third base. Is rebuilding, remaxing. Clem working on 2-2, has an upgrade lead as well. Again, it wasn't just the economy, it wasn't just the army size, but the upgrades as well. And there it is, GG, well played. Clem survives the all-in and takes game number 1. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Clem does take a lead here, but that was a nail-biter of a push. Again, Kelzer, if only he had caught a Raven or two, right? Like, it was crazy that Clem was able to retain all 3 Ravens throughout the all-in, throughout the defense, and able to make use of them. Great use of them over the course of the game. Really impressive stuff. Kelzer, unfortunately, was not able to catch them ahead of time, so auto turrets and disables were just the bane of that all-in. Time and time again, they came in, they shut Kelzer down. They allowed Clem to defend even with a supply deficit, even with less tanks or less Vikings or less bio. And with that, Clem did make it out. Survived. Takes the lead. GG. GG, well played. Kelzer now up against the wall. But it's going to be his map of choice. Now, what I will say that's a little bit unfortunate is we're probably not going to see that all-in again. You know, that 2-base all-in with 2 starports is really effective. It can be really effective, it can be really powerful, but we've already played our card. You know, we've played our card, and we should not see it again in game number 2. What I'm curious about, what build are we going to see next? Because I'm sure that Kelzer has something else in store for us. Was it Norway or the Netherlands? We'll get into it. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, oh, we have Clem for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have Kelzer for Platinum R8. But Kelzer, he was living in, I think it was Norway, wherever the Team Liquid HQ is. Hold on. Team Liquid. Was it Norway or Netherlands? I keep confusing them. Netherlands, that's it. Team Liquid based in Netherlands. Yeah. So, Diego, he was spending a lot of time in the Netherlands. I remember he was studying in the Netherlands, and he also did his internship, I believe, in the Netherlands as well. I don't know if he's still in the Netherlands or if he's now back in Brazil. I know he went back to Brazil for Christmas. I know he went back for the holidays, but I don't know if he's still back there or if he went back to Europe. So one or the other. If that's natural light that you're seeing for Kelzer, then he's probably in Europe. Like, because I'm pretty sure it's deep late into the night in Latin America. So, if that's natural light behind him, then I think he's back in Europa. For now, it's gonna be 2-Rack Reaper. Okay, proxy 2-Rack Reaper here out of Clem. Kelzer. Now we do see the roles have been reversed. Kelzer. Oh no, he's going for a Rax Expand. Uh-oh. We'll see. Yeah, Kelzer. He's going for a Rax Expand. Oh my god, the stars are aligning. This is the best case scenario for Clem. Best case scenario here is Kelzer is going for an economic opener. Clem doubling down. Now, the scary thing here, this is not an auto loss. This is not a build order loss, but this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold. Kelzer needs to pull the boys. When he realizes what's going on, he needs to pull the boys, he needs to pull some workers, he needs to protect that Reaper, he needs to make sure that factory finishes and get into that Hellion. He needs that Hellion. There we go. Factories on the way. If this factory is denied, if the SCV is killed, then that would be game. Like, we need to make sure the factory gets up and running and we can get into our Hellion production. Kelzer, oh, no, he doesn't check. No, he didn't see. The bunker gets thrown down, but the bunker, it won't come into play. SCV falls. We do deny the low ground CC. Diving into the main base. Factory is halfway done. We need that factory to finish. We need it to complete. We do see Clem dancing with the army. Boys are being pulled. So far, so good. Kelzer, he does force Clem out of the main. There's a cancel on the bunker. And it looks like the factory should complete. Hellion should be on the way. Clem, it looks like he's content on the low ground, and he will delay that CC for as long as he can. Will lay base. Oh, gets a Reaper. Very nice control out of Clem. Pulls back, saves the Reaper. Does save it. And we can see Kelzer holding on to that high ground, and we're going to force that cancel. That's going to be a brutal moment here for Kelzer. The advantage that he has is his base timing. Dive into the main, trading a Reaper for a Marine. Oh, Clem overcommits here. Does shave off the Marines, gets another SCV, but will bleed out all of his Reapers. Okay, down to 2. Kelzer has help. Oh, did I speak too soon? The Hellion! No! The Hellion falls! The Hellion goes down the Marine as well, and we can delay even further. No shot. Clem, the dive earlier paid off. The Hellion goes down. Massive delay on the CC. Ay, ay, ay. And Kelzer will eventually shut this down, will eventually be able to expand, but Clem got the damage he was looking for. Clem, he's up in workers. He's got his own CC on the way across the map. This hasn't killed Kelzer. Kelzer's not dead, but Clem, he's done well for himself. And he gets another SC. Oh, he delays! No shot! no! Shot! The CC is like half a second away! It's so close to finishing. Oh my god. We will eventually finish it, and the Cyclone has arrived as well. We're gonna have to repair, spend more minerals, spend more resources to top it up. It'll get up and running, but again, it was a rough start for Kelzer. Again, the stars aligned. We spoke about it before. So fortunate for Clem to have gone for Proxy 2Rax Reaper and for Kelzer to have gone for a Rax Expand. I mean, to be fair, Rax Expands are more common on Side Delta, just because it's a more defendable map. So it was a calculated move by Clem, and it did work out well in the end. And with that, Kelzer has some catching up to do. Despite his initial opener, Kelzer does not have the economic lead. Cyclones are already in production for Clem. Kelzer, I believe, getting a third CC in the main base. That is a way to bounce back. I believe there's a third base on the way for Kelzer. And here comes that Cyclone jump into the main. We need to get some damage done here. We need to turn those tables. And do we have much at home to defend? Reaper was a natural. We do distract Kelzer at the same time. Kelzer jumping into the main. Boys are being pulled. Cyclones are arriving. SCVs are going down. We do get the lock-on. Oh, do get the lock-on for a moment. At the same time, Clem pushing in across the map. We have chaos on both sides. In both bases. We did miss the lift. Did end up missing that lift there from Clem. But SCVs are going down. GG gets called. It's just too much to handle, and Clem will take the series at 2-0. A strong lead for Team Liquid. Whew, GG, well played. Clem looking satisfied. Looking satisfied on cams. But a shout out to Kelzer. Game 2 was rough. Game 2 was a rough game. Game 1 was very close, right? That all-in from Kelzer was so close to breaking Clem. If one or two other things had gone his way, would have been a different series, would have been a different dynamic. Here in Game 2, again, Rax Expands are a lot more common. Why? Because Side Delta is typically a safer map. Safer map to go for these more economic openers. Kelzer went for it and was punished for it there. And it wasn't just the build of choice, it was also the control of Clem. He had some very, very slick Reaper micro there. Able to out-control Kelzer, able to pick off Reapers, able to pick off SCVs. Again, he delayed that expansion for so long. Very impressive stuff there by Clem. Does take a lead for his team. And now, we'll see if we can bounce back. Up next, we have a Laser versus Shidown in a Zerg versus Protoss matchup. Shidown has been looking impressive. Shidown, he started kind of getting on my radar, was it a year ago? I think a year, maybe a year and a half ago. I think like 2 seasons of WTL ago, it's like start of 2023. We saw Shidown popping off in World Team League. Shidown, he was one of the go-to players for Platinum Heroes. Back then it was Shidown, DNS, and Goblin. I think they were the trifecta for the Platinum Heroes, and eventually Firefly when Firefly joined. But Shidown was featured week after week after week, every single week for Platinum Heroes. And yeah, we saw quite a lot of him, and we saw him go up against some of these bigger names and not look too bad, and improve over time. We saw the improvement of Shidown over the course of 2023, and because of that, I feel like he has a good chance here. A Laser, of course, he just went up against Cristiano last night. If you were here on this channel, you would have seen a best of 7 between a Laser and Cristiano in the grand finals of the House Galactic Battle, and Cristiano did defeat a Laser in a pretty handed series. Like, it was very impressive what Cristiano was able to pull off. We'll see if Shidown can learn from that. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have a Laser for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have Shidown for Platinum R8. Let's go. But yeah, yesterday we were live for 12 hours. It was a 12-hour cast of non-stop Polish StarCraft, and we saw a lot of a Laser's ZVP. A lot of it. We saw him against Papi, we saw him against Geralt, we saw him against Cristiano twice. But based on the fact that we don't have any webcams, it looks like this series was played ahead of time. It means that maybe Shidown wasn't able to watch the House Galactic Battle. Especially if this was played like yesterday or the day before that. So, yeah, that is something to factor in here. As we're getting into standard openers. Going to be Hatch Gas Pool. Basically, what a Laser really struggled with, and what Cristiano excelled at, was this very heavy Immortal Archon based composition, where we would open up, we wouldn't open up Blink, we would open up with a Twilight Council, Forge into fast Templar Archives, into fast Archons. We would skip Blink, go into Charge, get into an Immortal heavy style, and work towards these big timings, these big Storm timings, or these big like quintuple Immortal timings that would just catch a laser off guard, or punish it if a laser was rushing into mutas, for example, which happened a couple of times. It's this kind of like really like robust brute force style of PvZ that has been a little bit trendy as of late. It's been quite trendy, not just amongst Cristiano, who loves it, but even amongst some of these other Protoss players that have been embracing it as well. And Zerg players have been having a bit of a harder time keeping up with that style. Or at least the laser has. We'll see. We shall see. It's 11 a.m. in Brazil. Oh, there you go. Netherlands. Yeah. They see it in the chat. They see it in the chat. Yeah. I always mix up Netherlands and Norway. Always. Doing some fighting game too in the meantime. Oh, let's go. It's good to hear. It's good to hear, Kozan. Good to hear. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. If that was natural light, I think he'd be melting. Oh, it's not that late. Okay. Fair enough. I'm so used to it being like 4 or 5 a.m. in Latin America whenever we're casting these events. Specifically like ESL, Open Cup Asia and stuff like that. But it is later. It is later. As the Adepts are making their way across the map, again, it's going to be a Stargate opener as our take-off choice for Shidown. Is a Stargate opener. Double Adept going to be threading the mineral lines here over laser. So far, nothing too crazy. So far, it's been pretty standard setups here from both a laser and Shidown. Adepts do shade in. Lings are in position though, and we should be able to get us around on one of these Adepts. Oh my, the Jukes! We do try to slip away, but one Adept will fall, and the other will barely escape with its HP, with its life. Not really worth it here for Shidown. Picked off a couple of Lings, but no real economic damage dealt. And Ling speed kicks in. Ling speed does kick in. We're heading over towards the third base location. We're looking to force a cancel. We're going to dive on that Adept. The Adept is still very low. We get a surround. We get the Adept. We get the probe. And can we force the cancel? Oh, not quite. We're going for the Adept instead. Going for secure damage. The second Adept will fall. And the Oracle is forced back home. A nice win here for a laser. Again, ideally, these Oracles want to be across the map. They want to be across the map. They want to be harassing. They want to be threatening drones. Getting worker kills. But alas, these Lings, they keep those Oracles busy. They waste some of the energy as well on those Oracles. Now they're moving out, and Laser has a little bit more time to get ready. And what do we have? 3 Queens at the third. Oh my god, 2 Queens at the natural. Yeah, no way in. No damage dealt. And Laser is holding on. Yeah, so far doing a great job here at keeping up with the rotations of Shidown. Eva Chambers on the way. Back at home, we have our Transition, we have our Twilight Council, and our Forge. This should be for +1 and Blink. Again, if I was casting someone like Cristiano, I would assume it's going to be for Templar Archives for Archons and Storm, but I don't think Shidown is really one to embrace that. When I think of Shidown, I think of more of a Blink Stalker heavy kind of player. But we'll see. We shall see. As we do have a bit of a multi-pronged attack here. Oracle towards the natural, getting 1 drone. Double Oracle towards the third, not quite finding too much damage here. As the production is done, and there we go, we have our upgrades on the way. It is +1 and indeed Blink, so we're not going for that kind of fast Archon, fast Immortal style. It's going to be Blink Stalkers, while we harass with 6 Adepts. These are going to be 6 Vanilla Adepts. Their goal is to try to get some economic damage done, and to commit us to a mineral line. Blink Stalker transition behind this. Meanwhile, a laser. Do you see what I see? I see Overlord Speed. Now, this map, I should have spoken about this before. Oceanborn is known for all-ins. It's known for 3-way all-ins from the side of Zerg players. As we get a full surround, we force the recall. Adepts stay racing back home. Roachborn's almost done. But this map is known for Zerg players all-inning on 3 bases. Off of 6-6 workers. We do have a 4th on the way when it comes to Larva. Lair is about to finish up as well. But this Overlord Speed is a little bit of a tell. I'm curious if we're planning to go for Dropper Lords to move out across the map with all these queens, to amass roaches, to amass lings, and go for one big push. I don't see any I don't see any drones yet. I'm looking at the production tab, and if we, there it is, Dropper Lords are on the way. We're going all in. We're going for a big 3-base all in. We are bleeding out a couple of workers, but what is dangerous here is that we need this energy to defend back at home. We need the energy back at home. It's going to be a ling drop towards the main, a ling drop towards the natural, queens through the center, and of course Roach Ravager hitting the 3rd base. It's going to be a tri-pronged attack here by a laser in conjunction with these ling drops, but the ling drop is scouted. Ooh, big moment here for Shidown. But we need shield batteries, we need cannons, we need side defense at the 3rd. As the drop is denied. Meanwhile, the roaches have been spotted. We have that ling drop towards that natural that we spoke about. Again, it's 2 ling drops, 1 for each base, and then the main push. Side defense is on the way. We don't really have that much side defense though. Just 2 cannons and a shield battery. Yeah, we dive on the army. Lings are being cleaned up by the oracles. But what about the Roach Ravager? We're breaking through the front lines. There's barely an army standing. Shidown a little bit too greedy, going for a 4th base, a 4th that he's not going to be able to make use of. Yeah, and a laser. He has broken through. Yeah, the overcharge runs out. GG gets caught, and a laser with the 3-base all-in catches Shidown off guard. He was just not quite ready for it, didn't see it coming. And a laser takes game 1. Whew. GG, well played. A very decisive blow there by a laser. Again, unfortunately, Shidown took him a little bit too long to realize what was going on, and even then, again, just had very little to defend. Still had the 4th Nexus on the way. That is 400 minerals that could have been spent on additional shield batteries, on additional cannons, on additional warpins. We saw a Templar Archives on the way. That wasn't going to help at all in that defense either. Like, it was just, yeah, less than ideal there for Shidown. Again, knowledge is key here in StarCraft, and the all-in did catch him with his pants down. GG, well played. And now we're diving into our next game. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a laser for Team Liquid. And in the top left, we have Shidown for Platinum R8. Here we go. Ooh. Hope to see a reunion of you on Rushi. Rushi? Is it Rushi or Rushi? But I saw Rushi, I saw him streaming, I think it was yesterday or the day before that. I saw him stream, he was streaming, he was live. I was like, happy, he's back. I don't know if he never went, but he was streaming some StarCraft the other day. Which was really cool to see. As we do have our probe across the map, forcing the unnatural natural. Forcing a laser to expand elsewhere. And back at home, Shidown just entering his own standard opener, going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Calming things down. The OG casters of King of Battles and King of Battles 2, they're the OG Alpha X casters. Yeah, Alpha X, they used to have, who they have? It was Rushi, that was Kozan, mainly. Of course, Azlis joined later. Who else? Was Snoopy casting? Snoopy? Maybe? Maybe? Back in the day. Who else? I know Akon Tistis. I think he started casting at some point, right? Akon Sices? Akon. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think he started casting at one point as well. Tournament where, dude, that'd be a lot. It's good times. Tournament where Cure pulled out the mass Widowmine drops against Serral and Raynor and got massive success. The days, back in the days. Oh. But for now, we are settling in. Going to be saturating our bases. We do have our tech of choice. Going to be a Stargate opener here by Shidown. Just like the previous game. And we'll keep an eye on the laser. Now, Golden Aura, once again, if we wanted to go for an all-in, I'm not too fond of it on Golden Aura. The 3rd base on this map is much more secure. It is a very narrow ramp coming to the 3rd, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to pull off 3-base all-ins. I expect a laser to maybe have a different approach. Maybe going into a Spire, maybe working towards a Spire, maybe a Spire. I don't know. We'll see. A laser was very fond of Muta play over the weekend, which is why I'm bringing it up. So I would not be surprised if he whips that here in game 2. Otherwise, we could just see a standard game like Lingbane Roach Ravager into Hydras, into Lurkers. Like, we could just see, you know, more of what's meta. We'll keep an eye on the laser. So now we are joining up. Going to be Stargate into Oracle. We're not really spicing things up too much. Not going into a Void Ray, for example, or anything like that. There it is. It's just going to be those Oracles, going to be harassing, going to be trying to get some damage done. If you remember last game, Shidan had a really hard time. If you remember, he lost his first 2 Adepts. This time, we actually keep the Adepts back at home. Shidan doesn't even risk it. After being punished in game 1, Shidan, he keeps both Adepts back at home. This means that his Oracles have more freedom. This means that they're not stuck at home like they were last time. We can be more active. We can threaten these bases. We can try to punish a laser that much harder. So a much safer style here from Shidan. I should say much safer with the Adepts, so he can be more aggressive with the Oracles. Second Oracle's on the way. Third base being taken. So far, so good. A laser able to keep up for the time being. Wish it down. Is able to keep up. And we've yet to really see any kind of big deviation yet. As the Oracles, they head in between the bases. Drones are going to go down. Not bad. We do get 2, soon to be 3 drones. For a bit of hull damage. So not a bad start here for Shidan. Now he can just regenerate his shields and dip back in once again. Meanwhile, ooh, that is a bit of an earlier Roach Warren. That was a 4:45 Roach Warren timing. So a little bit earlier than we would expect to see. Not like insanely early. So I'm curious. Curious what's going to be done with it. Third Oracle rise. Oh my god. As the Oracle takes a lot of hits, so we do go for the recall. And it looks like we will barely get out of there. Whew. With all 3 Oracles. Lair is on the way. Adept's going to be shading in towards that natural. Not many Lings. Boys are being pulled. Drones are going down. This is finally the damage we were looking for. Shidan getting 3 drone kills so far. 3, 4, 5 workers going down. 6. And we're not done. We shade into the natural. The Oracles are still being active. Finally, something going Shidan's way, even diving on top of the Queens. Oh, but we have a transfuse. Yeah, we can sustain ourselves. The Queens hold their own, but 10 drones fall. Not bad. The Roach Warren is done, and you can see that a laser is droning. He's droning, he's throwing down gases. We're macroing up. Despite that earlier Roach Warren timing, it looks like it's just for safety. Just a safety Roach Warren as we try to macro it up. Means that Shidan isn't really under any threat. No threats here for Shidan. Gonna be able to keep up. Back at home, getting into Immortal production. Interesting. +1 is on the way. Twilight Council was delayed. Hello. Cristiano, is that you? Twilight Council was delayed. Second Robo's on the way. This looks like a mass Immortal composition here, or a setup for Shidan. And I think with that Twilight Council finishing... Okay. I was going to say this should be for Templar Archives. It is for the Templar Archives. And I assumed it was going to be Templar Archives for Archons and Charge. But no, it's going to be Blink instead. I'm a little bit thrown off by the Blink. Just because this is all quite gas intensive. Which is why Zealots work quite well with like Charge Out Immortal. But fair enough. Working towards Blink instead. We'll see how Shidan can make use of it. And second Rebel's on the way. We have taken all 6 gases so far. I imagine we're going to be prioritizing that on the 4th base as well. Meanwhile, a laser has been droning and has teched up into Hydras. No Spire. No Spire, no Mutus. Instead, it's going to be the other one. The Hydra Den instead. Into Hydras, there's the Infestation Pit. So it looks like a laser is playing this in a much more standard fashion. Working towards Lurkers. Lurkers are on the way. Should be Hydra into Hive, into Lurker Tech, into upgrades. Okay, laser heading down that tech tree. That tech path. And Shidan still has to piece this together. Is making 2 Immortals at a time. True. Does have Storm on the way. I am liking Shidan's army composition versus Lurkers. But it comes down to how much are we going to have by the time a laser maxes out. And how aggressive is Shidan going to be? There's that lurker den behind the mineral line. As I mentioned, as soon as we saw the infestation bit, it's like, oh, okay, lurkers. It's they're coming. The lurkers are on the way. Immortals are building up. High Templar as well, gathering energy. And do we hit this timing with Storm? It looks like we won't. Okay, Shidan embracing a longer game. As he is looking to apply some pressure here, he's not going to be committing. You can see on the production tab, Fleet Beacon. We have a Fleet Beacon on the way instead, getting ready for Sky Toss. But you can see Shidan doesn't want to give a laser as much breathing room as possible. He wants to limit him, keep him honest. Pokes onto creep. To keep a laser back for as long as he can. Tempest production has begun. I believe we only have one Stargate, so it's a bit of an awkward transition. There we go. Second Stargate's now on the way. But we are investing into this Tempest, which again will help against the lurkers. We do see a laser rotating around with his Roach Hydra. A laser's maxed, but a laser doesn't have the best army he could. Unfortunately, a lot of his supply is tied up in roaches, and we need to get rid of those roaches as quickly as possible and replace that with more Hydras, more lurkers, even Vipers as well, as the roaches are kind of dead supply. We don't want to throw them away. We want to trade ideally. Do want to trade. As Laser's still working on those upgrades. Mass expanding, taking the gold base. We can see Shidan is supply. Oh, this is not the time. It's a little bit supply blocked, but will chrono into those Tempests. There we go. Supply block is broken. Massive Stacy towards the south. Ooh. Storm not quite connecting. See on the right hand side a laser. Diving in with that Roach Hydra. Again, even if he bleeds out roaches here, this is a good thing. So not a bad moment here for a laser. Nidus Worm on the way. More Vipers. More lurkers as well. No Vipers yet. But we're headed for the main. Overseer in position. Does siege up. Does manage to siege up. We do see a decent storm here, and once again the fifth base is gonna be denied. Looks like that's the win conditioning for a laser, but another big stasis. Storm as well grazes a handful of these Hydras. As we distract the main army, Nidus Worm into the main. We do react, we do warp in. But is it too late? It's gonna be close. Oh, Nidus Worm finishes, and 3 lurkers pop out. Ooh, just in time. And where's the detection? Roach Hydra picking up an Archon, catching an Immortal. Uh-oh. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, Immortals are being shut down. We do see a laser finding quite a bit of damage here. So he does force a big reaction into the main. Lurkers are finally being cleaned up. We can see the laser, he's just rebuilding, remaxing on more Hydra. More lurkers. Dark Shrine on the way, let's go. Now, even though Shidan has yet to expand, 4 bases is enough to max out. Like Shidan, he can sustain himself to be able to max out here at 200 supply, but we need a 5th base to sustain ourselves, to sustain losses. So 5th base has been denied time and time again, is now being taken towards the right hand side. We have a Nidus on the way to make sure that does not happen. Lurkers laying siege upon the 3rd. Nice storm here on the Lings. Storm does connect. Meanwhile, the wall has been broken. We have Lings on the right-hand side. We're pushing in towards the 3rd base as well. The doors have been broken. We can flood in. But pushing into storms is never an easy thing to do. The laser still stuck outside. But he denies the 5th. Now, Shidan is maxed. He is maxed out, but if he starts bleeding out some of these Skytoss units, then again, replacing them is not going to be easy. We do need a 5th. Big Lurker coming from the right, going for that Templar. Ooh, one that Templar goes down. It survives. No shot. High Templar barely makes it out. There we go, more lurkers on the way. Ooh, we do block off that ramp. Lurkers are in production. A laser rotating around. Waiting for his reinforcements. But again, did deny the 5th. Gold base is getting saturated. A laser, he has at least a mineral bank to work with. At least because they're diving in. Once again, going for this round, diving on the High Templar. Overcharge is popped. And we're holding on to those storms. We actually don't spend them. Really patient play out of Shutdown. Very impressive. But meanwhile, we're exposed here on the right-hand side. Lurkers are going straight for the Nexus, taking a lot of hits. Immortals as well, having a hard time pushing in, but this is going to cost us a lot of these Lurkers. 18 probes for Lings, they bust into the mineral line. Lurkers are forced back. 19 probes go down. But that was a lot of Lurkers being thrown away. That was like a good, what, 6, 7 Lurkers? That was an expensive push on the right-hand side, and we did not get the Nexus. The Nexus survived. And because of those losses, because Alasia lost so many of those Lurkers, you can see the gas bank. It's not actually there. Alasia has minerals, but not gas. So these have been some expensive losses for the Zerg player. Very expensive. We start to step forward, we dive on top of the Sky Tosami. We have storms! Oof. Don't quite spend them. Once again, pushing through the slow zone. Cloak is activated. No detection! Uh-oh. Yeah, the Overseer not quite here, but we do deny the 5th. There we go. Lurker's going to be focused down one after the other. And Shutdown can take this fight. That one Lurker being so annoying. Does take the fight, but lost the base. Once again, the Nexus is shut down. Shutdown, he's just been desperately trying to expand for so long. Hasn't been able to. Laser remaxing with more Hydra. I believe the Lurker count is reset. I'm not sure we have many Lurkers left, if at all. If there are any Lurkers, I think they're in the United Swarm. Yeah, there we go. 3 more Lurkers on the way. It's mainly Ling Hydra. It's very mobile as a composition, but very fragile as well. All it takes is a couple of storms. In a head-on fight, I favor Shutdown, to be honest. We have plenty of Tempest, plenty of Carriers, plenty of Storms. If both armies faced off, I feel like Shutdown would snowball out of control. A laser making 24 drones! Oh my god! Wait, what? Okay, I guess this should be for a Spore Forest. As it's getting up to 104 workers. We should be seeing a line of static defense, though, from this. We'll see. Again, like, Alasia's army is going to be tiny because of this. You can see here, only 80 army supply. Down pushing forward. Shutting down Queens. Yeah, the push has begun. A laser, he's in trouble. Is pushing forward, going for, yeah, he's going for a Hail Mary play. Massive storm shield on the Ling Hydra. Will surround these Immortals, though. Immortals are going down. But here comes the main force. We do see a laser trying to set up a surround, but the Lurkers have fallen one after the other, and the Skytoss cannot be stopped, not by Mass Hydra. Spires are finishing up, but we have no upgrades. We have no upgrades. We have no Corruptor Switch really available. Yeah, laser just stuck on Ling Hydra for a little bit too long. Storm on the Lings. And there's just no anti-air. There's not enough anti-air. The Skytoss, it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of control. And Shutdown is doing it, Bobby. Keep going. Keep pushing. We have 20 more Hydras coming out. But we have no storms. That's the problem here. Is if we had a couple of High Templar, then we could keep pushing. You can see a laser still on 100 workers. Is trying to mine his heart out here. Is remaxing with mainly Ling, Hydra, and there we go. 7 more Lurkers on the way. Yeah, Shutdown pulls back. He pulled back home. Again, a big reason for this is because he lost all of his High Templar in the last fight. We saw that a laser, he dove in with his Lings and he was able to kill every single High Templar. So So I don't blame Shutdown, but he does need to keep pushing. He needs to keep the pressure up. Yeah, there we go. Massive storm on the Hydras. Because of the storms, a laser cannot engage. The space should go down. Shutdown, he finally gets his 5th up and running. Lurker is going for a big counterattack. Okay, 7 Lurkers. Carriers respond. Vipers dipping in. Looking for the yoinks. Looking for those abductions. Can we get the mothership? We can! We can, and we will. Mothership goes down. Minus 300 storm. Oh, not quite connecting. Stasis Trap saves those Hydras. Carriers have rotated over. Now, the carriers can recall. We have 1 recall available. Oh, that's a lot of saturation here in that northern base. And Shutdown, he's here to try to punish this. Ah, but he's maxed out. He can't warp in. Shutdown, he's at 200 supply. He's at 199. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he wanted to warp in some DTs. Ooh, Shutdown is being cornered. Really awkward position here. Tempest doing what they can. Ooh, High Templar going down. Lurkers, they're coming in for the kill. Every High Templar falls once again. Now, the Skytrust army will clean this up. But does Shutdown feel confident pushing out without splash damage? And that's the reason why he turned around before. Again, he lost all the High Templar. Alright, recalls. Recalls top right. With this recall, he should deny the Northern Hatchery. He should break it down. High Templar in the way. Like, we cannot allow a laser to just mine freely like this. Cannot allow that. And yeah, there we go. The base will go down. Now, we just recalled, which means we don't have another recall for quite some time. The mothership will help with that. As the mothership comes out, 21 workers go down. Ooh, that's a big blow to the economy of a laser. The base does fall. Mothership is about to spawn in. And we can see a laser rotating towards the left-hand side. Shutdown needs to get out of there, by the way. Shutdown, he needs to rotate as well. Okay, instead of responding to the army, we're pushing. We're going for a pseudo-base trade. To be fair, we have an army to defend. I mean, look at this. A decent carrier count. 4 carriers. There's no pushing into that. So Shutdown, he defends and he attacks. Deflects the main army, shuts down the hatchery. We can see a laser getting ready for a surround. Do we have a recall? We do. We have the mothership recall. Nice storm. Corruptors diving in. And there's the recall. We got 1 carrier. Oh, we get a second. 2 carriers and I think 1 Tempest. Yeah, we did recall to the mothership. So Shutdown does escape. And now we need to answer the Corruptors. The Corruptors may not be well upgraded, but there's a lot of them. They do need to be respected. Yeah, where are the Archons? They can focus on the Tempest one after the other. Without Archons, what can we really do? Storms are thrown down, but Corruptors, they can tank some of these storms. Yeah, they take down almost every Tempest, but we cannot keep pushing. Yeah, the carriers, they barely hold their own. Again, these are 1-1 Corrupt. They're just now 1-1 after the fight. They were 1-0 Corruptors. As a result, Corruptors are forced back. Shutdown pushing forward once again. You can see a laser's double expanding. The Corruptor army is very battered and very bruised, and oh, we're bleeding out too much. A lot of Corruptors going down. We do deny that hatchery, and we can keep pushing. We can keep pushing out a laser. He's burned through his bank. Once again, barely any gas. A laser, he's running out of gas. And Shutdown, we gotta send it, Pappy. Is clearing up creep. The Corruptor count is once again healthy. It's okay. It's okay. Could be better. Yeah, Zealot on my left-hand side as well. Here we go. Now we do come in with a master ass. Zealots towards the left, DTs towards the right. Yeah, we are wreaking havoc with denying mining here. And again, a laser, he's already broke. He needs these gases. Looks like he will take the base. Shutdown still building up that death ball of an army. Likewise, Shidown has been stuck on 5 bases for quite some time, and he needs another. He needs to expand, and there we go. The boys are coming. The probes are being pulled, and we do need to take that top right base as quickly as possible. It all comes down to the gas for both players, both Shidown and a laser. You can see the laser, he's burning through his mineral bank with all these things, but oh, that's a massive storm. Do we have another? Oh, do we have another? As it looks like we do not. The Hydras are still stepping forward. There we go. Storm on the Hydras. Does buy some time. The army rotates over, and we will be able to clean this up, but not without losing an Immortal. Do you pick up an Immortal? Do you force the morph of these Archons? There we go. Top right is being taken, but the Lings are there. A laser's in position to deny that Nexus. Yeah, and Shidown, he's not here to save it. We do force a cancel. We got to keep pushing. Like, regardless of where Shidown is going to push, we need to expand behind it. Whether it's top right or bottom left, we need a base. And we need to be able to defend it. There we go. Pylon on the way. Shidown, he's thinking about the center left base. You can see here that Laser's running out of resources. Taking top right. Again, Shidown in a difficult position. He cannot allow a laser to take more bases, but at the same time, he also has to defend his current base. He is spread thin. If he goes one way, he's going to be dragged in the other. And massively counterattack. Zealots, they do get in position. Nice storm on the Lings. Ooh, and we do catch reinforcements. Carrier goes down. Mothership as well. That's massive. Yeah, the way that Protoss players can deal with immobility is that Mothership to be able to have a second recall. That's one of the most important parts of the Mothership, and it goes down. Oh, nice storm of the Corruptors. The Lings, they're breaking through the 5th base. We're in danger. We have to recall. Oh. Yeah, tough choice to make. 14 probes go down. We do force that recall. I would love to have seen... We forced the recall, so may as well deny top right. Right, that base is right there, and Alasia, he's getting away with it. He's getting away with that hatchery, which is massive. Shidown, he's out of resources. Shidown, he can't max. Shidown, he's done well for himself, but I do feel like there was some moments in this game where Shidown could have been more aggressive and he was a little bit more passive, playing really scared. I don't think he realized like how much trouble a laser was in. I don't think he realized that a laser was struggling to like rebuild after certain fights. But Laser, he's going for the kill. He's going for the last mining base of Shidown. Is committing. And the problem right now is that Shidown is trading bases, but the gold base that Shidown just killed doesn't matter. That gold base, it just doesn't matter anymore. Is denying mining in top right? Like, Shidown needs more. As Shidown, he lost the most crucial mining base that he has. Nexus goes down, and we got to keep going. Now the hatchery going to be falling. Again, a laser, you can afford to lose this base. Towards the south, I mean, this one. Like, this hatchery isn't really adding much value. Broodlord's on the way. Now the important bases for a laser are in the top right. And do we have a recall? As a laser, he's going for the final bastion of hope here for Shidown. It's not even saturated. Nice stasis, though. Shidown engaging initially with the Corruptors. A lot of Corruptors going down. And now diving in. We do get the revelation. Shidown is down to 12 workers. Again, barely an economy. He may have the base, but he doesn't have the saturation. He's being forced back. Ay. The lurkers are forcing him back home. A laser saturating top right. A laser, he's remaxing. He can sustain himself. Barely. Can sustain himself. I guess there is a world here where if Shidan, not even that. I was gonna say if Shidan turtles at this base and saturates it, then maybe. But the reality is that if he turtles up, then Alaza will take the center base. That center base that used to be from Shidan. Then Alaza can take that and mine more freely. Like Shidan needs to be active. The base is fully saturated. Zealots are helping when it comes to mining time. But yeah, this is huge. Like that is a fully fresh mining base here for a laser. And a laser, he splits up his army. He's got Broodlords on the way to punish that left-hand base, to punish that Nexus. At the same time, Shidan also rotating over as well. We're going for a base trade. Oh, this is dangerous. I think a laser could win this with a base trade. He can kill all the buildings. We're gonna need to recall at some point. Base gonna be going down. We do see Hydra's lurkers pushing in. Yeah, these bases gonna be falling. Now, before we recall, Shidan has to take down top right. Or at least leave something at home or something across the map to kill this base before recalling. But we're running out of buildings. There we go. Hatchery goes down. We have to recall. Go back home. Up. We stack. There it is. Recall to the natural. Lurker is not quite within range. And Shidan needs to defend. Do we have detection? Okay, we do. Phew. We do have detection. Okay, what you see is what you get. We have very little income for both players. Now, Alazer did save his drones, and he's immediately re-expanding top right, retaking that base. And the problem is that because we just recalled, how does Shidan move out? If he moves out, then Alazer wins. Like, Alazer just attacks. You can see the Hydra's distracting the main force, and Alazer should be pushing on the left-hand side. Yeah, and he's moving in. The Broodlord army is pushing forward. Shidan out of position. Forces to cancel. But Shidan can win a fight. I still favor Shidan in a head-on fight, in a head-on engagement. If both armies clash, I think Shidan can win. Ah, but that's a lot of Corruptors. Never mind. That's a lot of Corruptors. And no longer are they unupgraded. Yeah, here we go. One final fight. Storm on the Hydras. The Corruptors, they pick away at the Archon. Archon goes down. Fungal on the carriers. And here comes the Mass Corruptor engaging here with those carriers. We close the distance. We're running out of storms. No Archons to support. GG gets called on the laser. He takes it. Whew. Does take the series at 2-0. Takes down Shidan. GG, well played. Once again, very similar to Clem versus Kelazur, where Kelazur, he barely didn't take game 1 against Clem. Like, game 1 versus Clem was so close between Kelazur and Clem. Similarly here, with Alazer versus Shidan. Shidan had moments. He had moments, and there were moments in this game where he was straight up winning. Where he straight up could have killed Alazer. Like, but it's also such a difficult way to play. I think what I love about Hero was a bit of a side tangent. What I love about Hero in late game ZVP is that Hero is so aggressive in late game ZVP. He is so active, and fun fact, he doesn't move out with his mothership. He like say for example, if we were given this situation, if Hero were to be pushing top right, he would leave his mothership at one of his other bases, maybe the southern base. So he could push in, take down a base, and then recall to the other side of the map. He would very rarely actually have his mothership with his main army, and he would use it as a second recall. So you'd have your main recall, your second recall to just bounce between bases, bounce between sides of the map, to be more active, to allow yourself to be more aggressive, and to deny some of these bases. Like, it's a much more active style, and it can be a little bit difficult to work with. But yeah, like it's something that Hero does really well in the late game, and it's something that I was desperately wanting out of Shidan. I was wanting to see just more aggressive and more proactive recalls here between his mothership and his bases and stuff, but we just didn't quite see it. And yeah, Lays just abused his mobility, and now we're diving into our next series. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Young Yakov. In the top left, we have Kior. Here we go. here we go. As we are diving into this, we are settling into our ZVT. The final best of 2 of the night. But yeah, I'm referring to specifically, there were moments when a laser, back when he had 1-0 Corruptors. Back when he had 1-0 Corruptors, which was like halfway through the game, there were moments where he was like taking some rough fights, bleeding out a lot of Corruptors, bleeding out a lot of Hydras, not having any Lurkers, But Shidan was just stuck at home and stuck responding to a laser. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Solid game there, and again, Shidan definitely had opportunities and definitely had a chance, was not out of his grasp. And now we're settling into our TVZ. And coming into this, obviously Young Yaakov is the favorite player. You know, he is the most recent Sparkling Tuna Cup champion, breaking the curse. This entire year it's been only Protoss champions, but Young Yaakov is our first non-Protoss. Do love to see it. So he's coming in prepared, hot and heavy. Coming into this best of 2. Kior, on the flip side, is also one of the best Terrans in the world. Is one of the best Terrans. I believe he's also a Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. True. Remember Kior, he played like in 2, I want to say. Like 1 or 2 of these events. Yeah. He played back at the start of 2023. So, fun fact, both Kior and Young Yaakov have won Sparkling Tuna Cup once. You know what that means? They're even. Let's go. We'll see who takes the tiebreaker. As for now, we're settling in. It's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here out of Young Yaakov. Again, I don't get to see enough of Young Yaakov. I know that I was talking about how we just casted him in different tournaments. But in general, Young Yaakov has been a little bit less active. Wars Reaper has arrived, forcing in that Spore. Quick reaction there to Young Yaakov. Does save his drone. But Young Yaakov, he's been a little bit less active this year. This year, compared to players like Wayne, compared to some of the other European Xerxes. Ooh, 2 Lings do go down. Good pickups here by Kior. So I was concerned that Young Yaakov was going to retire. Like, I feel like he has a lot of potential. A lot of potential as a player. And I was so concerned that, you know, we were going to be seeing maybe him, like, silently retreat from the game. But no, he's back. He's back. He's active again. It's really good to see him in a lot more of these online events. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is Young Yaakov's debut in WTL. Let me just double check. Like, again, I was talking about how inactive he's been. Double checking here. We do see that, yeah, Young Yaakov, he did not play for Platinum R8 this entire season. It's his first time. It's his first time, which again we do. Oh wait, no, my apologies, I missed it. It was week 2. My apologies. Week 2 is when he debuted. And even week 1. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It was there in week 2 and in week 1. For the past couple weeks, he hasn't been here. Okay. It's my short-term memory, which is okay. It's a month ago where it's all fuzzy. Oh. So never mind. He is making his return after a bit of a break from competing here in WTL. So not a debut. He's not pulling a Sue. Oh, as we are rushing into a lair. That is a 4-minute lair timing. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready for some shenanigans. Young Yaakov rushing into a lair very, very quickly. Now, with this fast lair, this could be a couple of different things. If we prioritize gases, and I do see 3 gases on the way, this could be mutas. This could be 2-base muta. We have seen 2-base muta with mixed success on Amphion. Yeah, that's how I'll put it. We've seen it look okay. We've seen it struggle as well. Baliness gets thrown down thereafter. But I believe this should be muta play. We'll see. If we were casting Miyamika, for example, I would be like, yo, Hydras? 2-base Hydra? True. I would assume it would be Hydras. But again, Miyamika is a very unique player, and I don't expect Young Yaakov to embrace Hydra play like that. But I'm here to see. I'm here to bear witness. What do you have for us? What do you have for us? As the lair is now done, and there it is, Spire. So, yeah, we're not doing our best Miyamika impression. It is going to be 2-base muta from Young Yaakov, as he is now saturating his 3rd. But the Spire is on the way. So far, hidden. And this is just really a really risky way to play. For those that are curious what this means, because we're rushing into the Spire, late Baneling speed. Baneling speed is going to be delayed. Upgrades are going to be delayed as well for the Ling Bane. Like, there's no double lever chamber, there's no +1 attack, no +1 melee. Oh, +1 carapace. We're relying so much on these mutants, and Kira's making it up. Let's go. Factories are on the way. Armories are on the way. Cure is gonna be making it up back at home. Getting into Cyclone production, still unaware as to what Young Yakov is doing. I kind of like this for Young Yakov. If we were playing Bio, then... Oh, never mind. Then we could end up hard countering, but the Banshee does slip in, and Cure gets 6 drone kills, and he gets a full scout to the main. Oof. That's unfortunate. This was a build designed to catch the Terran player off guard. That is the power of 2-base Muta, is catching them unawares, but Cure saw everything. He saw everything. Now we have Cyclones on the way. We're amassing Cyclones as we speak. Young Yakov knows he got scouted. So Young Yakov has to make a choice as he's supply blocked. Ooh, 3 more Overlords on the way. Hellions rotating around. There we go, 5 Mutas in production. And Cure should be throwing down some turrets. So far, only Cyclone. So far, just the mass Cyclone. It looks like he just wants to be hyper-aggressive. Yeah, he's going to force Young Yakov to defend with the Mutas. And defensively, Mutas are less than ideal. Tumor is denied. Hellbats have morphed in. Now, we might have a couple of defensive Banelings. I'm hoping at least. Mutas are distracted, defending here in the main. The Hellbats, they push on forward. There are Banelings to defend. They're waddling in. Cure with the last second split does avoid the bulk of that damage as they're busting into the mineral line. Mutas turning back around. We should clean this up. But that's going to be 10 drone kills. Not too bad. Not game-ending damage. And back at home, now we have turrets, now we have Thors. It's possible that maybe Cure didn't click on the Spire, right? Because he saw it with the Banshee, 100%. But it's possible that maybe he didn't click on it, maybe he thought it was a Spore. Because this is a big reaction at the Cure. It's turrets, Thors, Cyclones. Now, the worrisome thing right now is that Cure is ahead in the economy. Something that you don't see too often in StarCraft, because it leads into just a brutal kind of game, is a Terran meching player ahead in the economy against the Zerg. Like right now, Cure is up on bases. We have 4 base versus 4 base. Young Yakov, his hatchery is still in production, so we're barely at 4 bases. Cure is on 76 workers compared to the 63 of Young Yakov. Like, this is getting out of hand. And it doesn't look like it now. The supplies are still quite similar to each other, but basically we're waiting for the production to kick in. Like, Cure is making 3 more factories. Once these factories get up and running, Cure is going to be hitting his stride. He will be hitting his stride. Meanwhile, Young Yakov trying to find some damage against 4 SCVs. We have Evos on the way, Infestation Bits on the way. We're trying to take up towards, or to try to refine our army. Right now, heavily reliant on these Mutas. No! Oh, we take some big Thor shots. Yeah, big Thor shots to the face. We bleed out Mutas. +1 air attack on the way. 1-1. Now in production. Cure's already got 1-1. Should be working on 2-2. Near still frames. More Thors, more Cyclones. I believe we don't have a Roach Warren. Against Mech, Ling Bane struggles. Without Roaches, it's going to be a tough one. Is that Thor stuck? Wait, what? Because of the turrets, is that Thor... Is it stuck? I think it is. You can see it there on the edge, on the right-hand side. Smudge. And we shouldn't be making any medevacs here, so I don't think there's an easy way to get that Thor out without breaking through the buildings, or lifting. Meanwhile, the Raven! The Raven gets caught out. Not a bad pickoff, but we also take some big Thor volleys to the face. Creep is being cleared up. We could try to mule to work through this mineral line, but now we're rotating back around. Cure is still on 86 workers. Cure with the supply lead. This is what you mentioned. We were just waiting for the factories to kick in, and now, yeah, the supply. This time it doesn't lie. Does not lie. Okay, so I was curious what the plan for Young Yakov was. The plan is, Hydra Lurker. Hydra, like Lingbane, Hydra Lurker Viper, it can trade against Mech. It can definitely like hold its own. The problem here is, again, because of the state of the game. Young Yakov, he's not quite where he needs to be. The Hive is still on the way. The Lurker Den's still not done. We need time. Oh, there's that Thor that was stuck. He holds the line. Oh, the Thor is going to be shut down, but does tank quite a bit of the Ling Bane. Bailey's a bust into the mineral line. We do catch a couple of workers. Oh, Young Yakov committing quite hard to this. Rallying all of his Ling Bane into the natural. He does get 12 SCVs. Was that worth it as Young Yakov plummets in supply? Does plummet in that supply. Mutas are being shut down. Kira's 5th base is up and running. And thankfully for Young Yakov, Kira's supply blocked. Otherwise, I think Kira would be maxed. But we're pushing. We're going for a big counterattack. And Young Yakov has a Lurker Den. He can make Lair Tech Lurkers. True. He can morph in some Lair Tech Lurkers to defend. Otherwise, he's going to have to rely on his Ling Hydra. And here comes the big counterattack from Cure. The mech army looking to snowball out of control. Hydra stutter stepping their hearts out, kiting their hearts out. We do manage to catch a couple of these Hellbats. A couple of Hellbats are going to be going down. And yeah, Young Yakov, he knows he can't fight. He cannot fight this head on. The only chance that Young Yakov has is to force the army to turn around. So he goes for a big counterattack. But Kira doesn't care. Kira, he's ignoring the counterattack. He has reinforcements back at home. He's defending at his main, at his natural. Hydras are getting damage done, but this pales in comparison to what Kira is achieving across the map. We have one Lurker on the high ground. Let's go. Do we have a scan? We should. Boys are being pulled. A lot of SCV is going to be going down. Meanwhile, across the map, Cure, he's busting into the natural. And GG gets called. Cure takes game number 1. Oof. GG, well played. A very impressive game there out of Cure. Able to flex mech. Again, Amphion isn't seen too often in this matchup because it's often vetoed. But the same reasoning as to why Young Yakov went Muta is the same reason why Cure went mech. Just because your bases are more secure, your 2, 3, and 4 base setup are a little bit more secure, especially as a Terran player here, you're able to be quite safe and work towards a more risky kind of army style. And here we go, we're diving into this in the bottom right hand corner. We have Cure on Oceanborn. In the top left, we have Young Yakov. Whew. For Platinum R8. Here we go. Just catching up. Has Cyril won a Spiked in Tuna Cup? I don't think he has. I don't think he's quite that good enough yet. He'll get there. Kappa. Here we go. As the hatchery is being taken. Meanwhile, Cure looks like he's opening up with a 2-Rax Reaper build. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, SCV is being sent to the low ground. It's going to be 2-Rax Reaper out of Cure. We've seen this be quite trendy as of late. We saw this in the previous series. We saw this earlier today with Nickrak versus Young Yakov. The goal here is to get into additional Reaper production, expand behind it, and delay the 3rd base for as long as we can. So a bit of an aggressive build here from Kior. And this leads into a 2-on-1. More often than not, 3cc 2-on-1. So we'll see if Young Yakov can keep up. He was able to do so against Nickrak earlier today. But we'll see how he handles this build in the hands of Cure. As Raxes are finishing, Reapers are in production. Again, the goal of this build is to get across the map, is to deny the 3rd for as long as possible, contain the Zerg player on 2 bases for as long as we can, and expand and work towards our stim timing. There are different variations of this. I'm assuming it's going to be 3cc 2-1-1, but there are 4-Rax follow-ups. There are 3-Rax follow-ups as well. They're a lot less common. Beyond would often mix them in. This was last year in 2023, at the start of 2023. But nowadays, a lot of those follow-ups have been phased out. You know, they're not too popular nowadays to go into 3 or 4 Raxes. Even Beyond has phased them out as well. As Reaper does get across the map, dancing with the Lings. we do get eyes on the third base, and upon seeing this third, we do have 3 Reapers already. We have a 4th Reaper on the way, and again, the goal is to force that cancel. A lot of damage being dealt already. Hatchery is under fire. Young Yakov waiting for that creep tumor, massing his queens, and his goal here is to try to save it. And we'll see if he can. Hatchery again taking a lot of damage. And that 4th Reaper is rallying across the map. But behind this, there's a 3rd CC that we did mention. So 3 CC 2-on-1 out of Cure. And we're going to force that cancel. Yeah, Young Yakov a little bit too greedy going for this. Will not save it. Cancels the hatchery. Gets a kill on the drone. Link's speed is on the horizon. So Cure should be aware. And he should get out of here before Link's speed finishes. There we go. We're 10 seconds away. Cure being a little bit risky, but there we go. He turns back around. Racing back home, Link speed kicks in, and Cure will get away. So a very nice start here for Cure. Again, that's all he wanted, to deny the third, and he got what he wanted. Behind this, there's the add-on swap. Now this 2-on-1, ooh, okay, going for the Cyclone variation. Cyclones are on the way instead of Hellions. The purpose of this is to have a map presence on the map and to shut down any Overlords. It's more of an Overlord sniping like hit squad. So it should be Cyclone into Hellion. And again, you can see Stim is on the way. We're going to be building up towards a Stim timing with Medivacs. It's not all in. Remember, Cure has a 3rd CC, so it's a very macro build. But there are timings within it. There are definitely scary moments for the Zerg player that they do have to be aware of when up against this build. I do see Young Yakov responding well, going for a singular Evo chamber into Carapace. Carapace is the upgrade you want against 2-on-1 variations. The reason for this is because Carapace is the most valuable upgrade for you. It keeps your Lings alive a little bit longer as it applies to every single Marine shot. So Carapace is very necessary here and the go-to against these Stim timings. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? That's an armory. It's going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 Hellbat push. There are layers here to Cure's build. The Hellbat edition is going to be wild. And we don't really actually have that many Hellions yet, but we have 2 more Hellions on the way. Lings are coming for the surround. Oh, nice catch. We got one. We managed to catch one of these Cyclones. Then can we get a Hellion? That's going to be huge, and we do. Very nicely done. Punishing the greed of Cure. 2 Hellions fall before the Hellbat push. And we could even get some more. 2 more Hellions on the fire. There we go. We do pull back. But this will mean that that Hellbat follow-up that Young Yakov hasn't even scouted is going to be a little bit weaker. It's not going to hit as hard, as we're going to be missing 2 of those Hellbats. And the Cyclones as well. Now, Stim is done. We're still waiting for the Medivacs. Those 2 Medivacs are still in production. We have 3 Hellions. Again, that could have been 5. But 3 Hellions instead. Bailey Nest is on the way. And here we go, we're pushing. Here comes that Stim Hellbat timing. Because there are so few Hellions, I wonder if we may even just leave the Hellions at home. We may just not use them, not incorporate them. We'll see how committed we want to be. Ah, there we go. Now, yeah, the Hellions, they meet up. Hellbats are morphed in. Again, only 3, so with our Queens, with our Lings, we should be okay. They shouldn't get too much done. We clear up a lot of creep here outside of the bases. Lings diving forward. The Hellbats do well though. We do kite back. Baileys are on the way. We're getting some of the Queens. Oh, 1, 2 Queens go down. Very nice target practice. The Baileys are not ready in time. The Lings are being shut down and we do barely force the pick up. Young Yakov holds. That was close. Like, imagine this push. Imagine this very same push, but with 2 Cyclones and 2 more Hellbats. We may have just ended the game. That may have just been just enough to end the game then and there. Whew. But Young Yakov does hold. Does survive. We do see the Marines wedging themselves behind the mineral line, but we do force the pickup. Cure has to get out of there. 3rd base is getting saturated for Cure. And we are soon to enter the mid-game. Young Yakov relying on Ling Bane. Cure getting into his bio-tank composition. Okay. Here we go. The champion of the Sparkling Tuna is too powerful for Cure. True! True. Remember though, Kira is also an STC champion. But here comes our follow-up push. You know, we survived the sim timing. What about the tank timing? 2 tanks are up and running for Cure. Ling Bane collapsing on this. Very nice. We force back the army. We deny the timing that Cure was going for. Ooh, the drop gets shut down. Young Jakob, calm down. Shuts down the drop, denies the push, gains map control. Young Jakob, he's stabilizing. Is looking to stabilize. Taking his 5th base. Mind getting in position. Oh my god. Mind shot not quite going up. Whew. Cure does hold. Cure, he holds on. But now we've entered more of a back and forth here. The last game was more Cure in the driver's seats more than anything. It's the position you put yourself in when you rush into mutas and when you get scouted like that. But here it's more back and forth. And Jakob taking more bases, droning up. Getting up to a 4 base economy, soon to be full saturation with those 7 workers on the way. Trying to get into Ling Bane Hydra. Widowmines are pushing forward. Cure has stopped tank production. Going into Widowmines instead. Has Drilling Claws. And he's pushing forward. Now, how good are these mine shots going to be? At the same time, Ling counterattack coming in. Yeah, big mine shot. We have plenty of reinforcements as well. Now, Ling Rambai does nothing. And Cure drops into the main. Hive is on the way. That should be for Vipers. As for the time being, we don't really have any secure way to shut down these medevacs. Like, sure, we have some queens and we have a handful of hydras, but yeah, these medevacs are pretty free to drop as they please. At least until Vipers come out. At the same time, triple drop on the right-hand side, keeping Young Jakob busy. You can see Young Jakob just struggling to rotate between his bases. And this hatchery is looking exposed. Jakob, can he rotate in time? Widowmines are burrowing. Does split up his army. But with that hatchery, takes a lot of hits. Again, we were out of position. Can we force some friendly fire? Oh, we force the unburrow. Nice move there to Cure. The mines. Big connections. Banelings go down. A good amount of lings as well. And the drop is still not cleaned up. And the Widowmines will reset. Widowmine's going to be resetting on the right-hand side. We lost a lot of Ling Bane, and we need more support on the right-hand side. Another hatchery under fire. Hydra gets targeted. We do force the pick up. But you can see another drop coming in on the right-hand side. The drop play from Cure, it's getting out of hand. Oh, do we catch the Marines? Not quite. Handful of Marines go down. Handful of Marines do go down, and yeah, the hatchery will fall. There's no saving it. Limited vision, limited creep. The Widowmines are still there. They have reset. And Cure is gaining ground. I'm loving the whole position micro out of Young Jakob. Not the first time we saw it. Oof. Oh, that was a big mine, though. Yeah, massive connection. At the same time, Young Jakob going for his own counterattack. Mine shots not quite going off, only the one. We do catch this army. And we go for the mineral line. We're going for the SCVs. Can we catch them? Yeah, there's no way out. We do force his last second split. Oh, we only get 2. There we go. 15 SCVs. We defended the main base as well. Ooh, Young Jakob barely keeping up with those drops. With that, he does do a massive blow to the economy of Cure. But the 4th base is getting up and running. The Widowmines, oh, a lot of them did survive that initial attack. They are pushing in. And that's target firing. Widowmines are shut down. They don't quite reset. Young Jakob, he is keeping up. There's been a couple of brutal mine shots here and there, like maybe 2. 2, maybe 3, but outside of that, that's a lot of Hydras. Oh my god. Going for a very Hydra-heavy style. Can do well against Widowmines. Oh, but in a head-on engagement, yeah, we need Ling Bane support. Against bio like this, Hydras, they can't do it on their own. We need creep, we need Ling Bane. Meanwhile, there is Vipers finally on the way. This is what we were waiting for. Vipers for abductions, for parasitic bombs. Finally, we're going to have an answer to these drops. But we still need time. They need to gather up energy. They need some time here. Creep is being denied. Young Yakov trying to keep up with that creep spread. Rotating over. Diving on the army. That's a lot of Marauders. But that's what the Ling Hydra is for. We shut down the Medivacs. Massive catch there from Young Yakov. At the same time, double jump into the main. Well, the main base is compromised. Queens are going down. Queens, 7 drones as well, but we do save the tech. That's what's important. Oh no, we're out of position once again. Oh, just barely. 10 drones fall, but we have the Ling Bane. We barely keep up. Doom drop into the natural. Vipers still need a little bit more time. And once they come online, we can yoink, we can abduct, and even parasitic bomb. There it is. We're going for the power bomb here on the Medivacs. Locking them down. Oof. One Medivac goes down, the others are very low. The hatchery is under fire, and can we focus it down? It's going to be close. Oh, we can! The hatchery falls. Still on 5 bases, we need a sig. Young Yakov, this is a little bit dangerous. He does need a hatchery, whether it's top left or bottom right. He needs something. As Kira's been doing such a great job here at just denying bases over and over again. Shutting them down. Speaking of, Kira's getting a 5th. Kira's getting a 5th base as Young Yakov is also stuck on 5 bases. Again, that is dangerous for the Zerg player. Young Yakov does have a bank to work with. But only for so long. A big mind connection on the Lings. But we don't quite catch the ghosts. You can see that Kira has been pivoting away from drop play. Now the drop play has subsided. And now we're settling into tanks once again. We're out of Widow Mines into tanks. Reasoning for this, we're walling up. Widow Mines struggle against Hydras, but against Hydra Lurker, that's where tanks can thrive. So we're settling into tanks, into walling up, sensor towers, missile turrets, and ghosts are on the way. They'll be there in time for the Lurkers. The snipes won't quite connect. The hatchery is going to be denied once again. But I believe Young Yakov will finally get a 6th base on the right-hand side. Like, that hatchery should get up and running. You can see this being active. He's looking for drops. But it should finally get online. At the same time, Nidus Worm on the way. Yo, we have some Overseers diving into the main and natural. We're looking for those Nidus Worms. We're looking for some good positioning. Meanwhile, an adventurous move here by Young Yakov, bleeding out a lot of Lurkers. That was not the play. That was not the fight to take. Trying to hold his ground here, but oh, Young Yakov is going to bleed out almost every single Lurker. Nidus Worm finishes what is in the Nidus. Even more. Let's go. Lurkers, they bust into the main. And this forces a reaction at a cure. This means that even though Young Yakov lost his main attacking force, there's no counterattack. Cury's coming back into the main base. Ooh, Overseer barely still alive. We're holding onto the ramp. Overseer goes down. Ooh, no detection. Oh my god, never mind. The stray spine shots, they shut down the ghosts. So many ghosts go down. We're camping the main base. Lings rushing in towards the 3rd. Cure losing so much. That was how many? That was like 12 ghosts. And that's game-ending damage. That was such an expensive army. So many ghosts going down. And Young Yakov, he's going for the kill. Catching Medivacs, catching reinforcements. Again, that Nidus into the main base may have just won Young Yakov this game, as he was able to catch every single ghost. Liberators have arrived, but it doesn't even matter. SCVs are falling left and right, even forcing some friendly fire. Tank gets yoinked! We get the abduction! Let's go! And the Mass Hydra snowballing out of control. Again, things are looking dire here for Platinum RA, but GG gets called, and Young Yakov takes down Cure in game number 2, tying things up 1-1. Whew. GG, well played. Oh my god. Young Yakov having a very, very intense game there. I mean, a shout to Young Yakov, he brought Cure down. That was not an easy game. Cure was all over Young Yakov. Time and time again, Young Yakov fought hard for his 5th. His 5th hatchery was so delayed. And his 6th as well. The drop play was insane, and Young Yako was barely keeping his head above water there against Cure. Eventually, the drop play stopped once the Vipers came out, once we were able to stabilize our 5th, and eventually a 6th base, really mainly the 5th base. Once we were able to stabilize, then we could turn the tables. We can turn the tables on Cure, as Cure was attempting to wall up, as he was attempting to go into Mass Tank, Mass Ghost. The Nidus came into the main. GG, well played. Young Yakov does fight back. There's a reason why he was today's Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. Obviously. Clearly. Clearly, that means he can take it to Cure. Congratulations, Young Yakov, not just winning today in Sparkling Tuna Cup, but also taking a map off of Cure, being the only player to take a map off of Cure as well. Very impressive. Very impressive stuff. GG, well played. We have the final standings for the end of round 5. We have Team Vitality at the top, followed by DKZ, Team Liquid, Shopify, Basilisk, and Mystery Gaming as our top 6 teams. And we have the other half on the right-hand side. Again, Platinum RH, Berserker, Starlight Twinkle. I think what's important here is that even here at the bottom of the bracket, a lot of these teams are pretty close in those score lines. You know, Berserker and Platinum RH are tied with 4 points. You have Twisted Fairy up by 1 on 5. Psystorm, likewise, barely above them. You have Offside trailing, but Offside are a fan favorite. It's okay. they're a fan favorite. We got a lot of love for Offside esports. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Yeah, Yakov, one of the he is one of the best, Pappy. One of the best. It's not easy winning a Sparkling Tuna Cup, you know? Really, the Sparkling Tuna Cup was harder than Cure. Kappa. Of course, when they have one Sparkling Tuna Cup apiece, they go 1-1. True. Este Papa Panda. GG, well played. And with that, it's a 5. It is a 5-1 at the end. It is a 5-1. But impressive stuff there to Young Yako. Very impressive stuff. GG, well played. And with that, we're done. With that, we are done here for the night. We're going to be wrapping up. Again, it was a long broadcast. 7 hours. 7 hours of casting. I would like some food. It is almost 2 a.m. in the morning here. It is 1:46 a.m. here in the land of Australia. I'm gonna make some noodles. I'm gonna make some ramen. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna crack some eggs, put them in. It's gonna be beautiful. But yes, I'm starving. I woke up, jumped right into casting, and here we are, 7 hours later. Time for some breakfast. Time for some food. If you're interested, if you want some more StarCraft content, if you are unsatiated and if you are starving for more, then we have you covered with ESL Open Cup Asia. ESL Open Cup Asia is going to be tomorrow in just under 24 hours. Just under 24 hours time here on the channel. We're going to be casting. It's going to be myself and Yaku. Yaku of the Zaku is going to be here as well, covering some Korean action. So if you want some Korean StarCraft, we got you covered. We got you covered tomorrow with ESL Asia. Day after that is going to be ESL Open Cup Americas. And we have another cast as well. So tomorrow is ESL Asia, followed by ESL Americas, followed by something else, followed by the by WTL Day 2. So this weekend we casted WTL round 5 day 1, we casted day 3, but we missed day 2 because we were casting the House Galactic Battle for 12 hours yesterday. All day we were casting House Galactic Battle. So we missed out on casting day 2, which is yesterday's day of WTL. So we're going to be catching up and casting that on Tuesday after ESL Americas. After ESL Open Cup Americas, there's going to be like a couple of hours break, and bam, we're going to be back with World Team League. That's the plan. That is going to be the plan. Likewise, we're going to be doing a catch-up KSL cast as well on Thursday. We have Kung Fu Cup on Wednesday. We have WTL once again on Friday. Every day, we got you something. Every day, we have some content for you. On top of that, there's also some Brazilian tournaments going on that we have agreed to cast. There's a Brazilian tournament happening on the 19th on Wednesday, so we're going to be casting that. And Amantes de StarCraft, which is a Brazilian-only tournament, did occur yesterday, and Eric was playing in it, our boy, and obviously we got to cast it. If Eric is playing, we got to be there to cast it. So we're going to be going over some Amantes replays on Wednesday as well, before Kung Fu Cup. So Wednesday is going to be Amantes and Kung Fu Cup. Tuesday is going to be ESL Americas and WTL. Monday is going to be ESL Asia. And Thursday is going to be KSL. So plenty of content on the horizon. Plenty of StarCraft going on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. Again, if you enjoy the casting, if you want some more StarCraft, we are live every single day, multiple times a day here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast more than anyone else. That's something that I can take some pride in, is our work ethic here and our non-stop casting. But I'm trying to slow down a little bit. I've noticed that you know, the fatigue gets to me sometimes. So I do try to take a day off from time to time. I think my next day off might be during Home Story Cup. In 2 weeks we have Home Story Cup, so I might calm things down during Home Story Cup and just chill. And instead of casting StarCraft, I'll just watch StarCraft. I'll just watch Home Story Cup. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be beautiful. I'll try not to cast while watching. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Give them a chance. Give them some support. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.